Real Madrid are one of the world's biggest clubs, winning a staggering 14 Champions Leagues. But how good would they be if they could only sign Spanish players? So for this FM challenge, I have released all the non-Spanish players to begin my journey of trying to make Real Madrid the most successful homegrown club. Hey, how's it going? And welcome to my brand new FM challenge video where I have taken over Real Madrid, released all of the non-Spanish players to see how good we can become using just Spanish players. So first things first, let's address the squad. The squad, Real Madrid squad, is obviously absolutely ridiculous in real life. One of the best teams in the world with the likes of Bellingham and Vinicius Jr. But those players have all gone. As you can see, only got Spanish players left in the team. As you can see, though, got one Moroccan and one Uruguayan player. That is because as long as they're part Spanish, that counts here for me in this video. And Brahim Diaz, he is Moroccan, but he was born in Spain. He was actually born in Malaga, and he's also got one cap, one goal for Spain, so of course he counts. And also Alvaro Rodriguez, he plays for Uruguay, but again, he was also born in Spain. He was born in Palamos, and his other nationalities are Spanish. I won't count players, though, who have gained a nationality just purely by playing in the league, such as Vinicius Jr., and Rodrigo, also Valverde and Eder Militao as well. They have to be part Spanish from birth or also come straight through a Spanish club's youth academy. Because of course we know that in the new intake of youth players throughout the seasons, you will get a couple of players in there from different nationalities, and also due to them being at the club for so long, they will gain Spanish nationality anyway. So those are the rules here. Obviously, as I said, as long as there's part Spanish, that counts for me. That is why Brahim Diaz and Rodriguez are here in the team. So in terms of the team we have here, this is my first team, and there's only 14 players in the first team. But different to my Barcelona homegrown challenge I did quite recently, I will be able to sign players here with Real Madrid. I'm not going to rely entirely on the youth system. So obviously I'll go out and buy some players, but at the moment there's only 14 players. We go position by position here. The goalkeeper, we have Kepa in goal, which is quite good, let's be honest, as our number one goalkeeper. The problem is, though, he is only on loan at the club for this season, and also there's no optional future fee in his contract. So we shall see what happens, what Spanish goalkeeper I can get to replace Kepa at the end of the season, or maybe I'll just make a bid for him and keep him as our number one for the next coming seasons. The right back position is actually quite good, probably the best position in the squad, to be honest. Got Dani Carvajal, of course, and also back up to him we have got Lucas Vazquez, who's playing on the right wing at the moment, seeing as we haven't got enough players. The centre-back is definitely very worrying. Got Nacho at centre-back, but he's not exactly great. He's also 33 years of age. I say he's not great. He's a versatile defender, which is nice, but as a centre-back, he's not the best. He's not the best in the air. He's only 5'11", so that is a problem. The other centre-back, though, is a big problem. That is Alvaro Carrillo, 21 years of age. He's a 2.5-star player, and as you can see, he is not really good enough. Another one who's versatile, though, 21 years of age. He might get a little bit better, but clearly we need to go out and buy a centre-back, that is for sure. Probably two centre-backs, to be honest with you. The left-back position, again, isn't that bad. We've got Fran Garcia at left-back. He says he's listed for loan, but clearly I'm not going to loan him out for the season, that is for sure. He's quite decent. The big problem, though, is in the midfield. We've only got one natural midfielder at the club, and that is Dani Ceballos. He's quite decent, let's be honest. As a squad player, he's quite decent. You know, in the challenge now, he's obviously quite a decent regular starter, shall we say. But he is the only midfielder we have got at the moment. As you can see, in midfield, we're playing Jesus Vallejo, who's another centre-back, by the way, but he's not that great. And also Brahim Diaz as an attacking midfielder. So I need to go out and buy 2, probably 3 DMs to actually make up that position. On the right wing, Lucas Vazquez, but he's naturally a right back, to be honest, so the right wing position isn't looking that great. We've got Brahim Diaz through the middle, Peter as a left winger, but he clearly is nowhere near good enough. 20 years of age, not going to be a good enough player for us, so that's a problem area as well. And up front we have Joselu, who's also on loan. He's 33 years of age as well. He's a decent striker, decent as a backup option probably, but I don't really like him that much, to be honest. Not as a person, as a player. He's not exactly very quick. He's more of a target forward style player. Not really what I'm going with, to be honest. But yeah, so the team isn't looking absolutely terrible. At least we've managed to spring 14 players together here. The main problem is, though, is the squad depth for sure. And also the centre midfield department is absolutely terrible. But the good news is I've got some money to spend. Got £83 million in the transfer budget, and also £4.16 million under the wage budget after all those players left us. So definitely got some money to spend to go bring in some Spanish players. I'm going to go do that now. I have to do it. I need to sign, as I said. The main priority positions is obviously the DM first of all, but after that I need another forward player, at least one, maybe two, and also one or two centre-backs as well. So wish me luck with that, signing the players. I'll bring you back in a second after I've made all those signings for Season 1. Also, one thing I forgot to mention is, obviously I'm only signing Spanish players, but the big problem here with Real Madrid is we've got 3 fierce rivals of Real Madrid where I cannot sign any players from at all. And of course, the top 2 are Barcelona and Atletico Madrid, which is a big problem, of course. Barcelona have got the best youth system in Spain, arguably the best youth system in the world. Atletico Madrid as well, a very good team. And the third one is Valencia. I can't actually sign any players from those 3 clubs. So this challenge is actually harder than you'd think it is. And also, it's probably one of my hardest challenges to date. So I'm hoping it goes well. I know it's going to take a long time for us to become very, very big again. We're obviously going to stay big the entirety of the experiment here, but this is Real Madrid we're talking about. We're looking to be the best club in the world, the biggest club in the world still. So it's going to be tricky in the early stages, but the good news is I managed to get some players in, quite a few players in as well. Some obvious names in here as well. The first signing I made was Nico Williams from Athletic Bilbao for £43 million. He's a forward player, of course, can play on the right and the left. He can also be trained up front as well. Only 21 years of age, only just turned 21 as well, so hopefully he'll be around for a long time to come. He's not amazing, but he definitely can become amazing, very well-rounded as well, so happy with the signing of Nico Williams, and £43 million is quite cheap for him, to be honest. That was actually his minimum fee release clause. The next signing I made was another forward player, another very familiar name. That is Yeremy Pino from Villarreal for £69 million. A bit more expensive than Williams, but that is his minimum fee release clause as well. But again, he can play anywhere in the forward line, which is great. And he's still young, only 20 years of age, still developing. So I'm quite happy with the two wingers I've signed there in Pino and Williams. The next 3 players that joined us were all from Real Sociedad, so I've rated them a little bit, it has to be said. The first one was Martin Zubimendi for £44.5 million. He is one of our new DMs, so I'm very happy with that. A very well-rounded midfielder. He's got great passing as well, 16 passing. He's still relatively young, 24 years of age, so he might improve more from this. Physically, he's not the best, but he's our first DM we've signed to the club, so can't complain too much. He's already got 1 cap for Spain, so hopefully he'll be an important player for us as well. The next one from Real Sociedad to join us was another midfielder, and that is Mikel Merino. So I've signed both of Real Sociedad's DMs here for Real Madrid, so they're obviously not very happy with me right now, but it's a needs-must situation. Merino is a bit older, he's 27 years of age, got 15 caps for Spain, but I would say he's better than Zubimendi as well. He's more well-rounded, and he's also got better physical attributes as well, so happy with his signing Merino. And the last one to join us from Real Sociedad was Aritz Elizondo. He has joined us for £40 million. He is a new centre-back, bit on the older side, 29 years of age, but needed another centre-back. That was paramount. I think it's clear that is a problem position here, the centre-back, because he is one of the best ones I could sign. So, bit worried about that. Physically, he's not very good, but he'll definitely do a job for us. He's got no caps for Spain, though, by the way. 4 more signings to talk of. The first one is Fabian. He has joined us from PSG on loan for the season, although he does join permanently end of the season with £24 million. I may have run out of money at this point. He's a good signing as well, 27 years of age. He can play anywhere in the midfield 3, which is very convenient. DM, centre midfield or attack midfield. Very good technically, good mentally as well, but not so good physically. The next 3 players I signed, though, were just to make up the numbers in the squad, because obviously he had a very thin squad. Not really too much to mention about these players. Ferran Jutgla have joined us from Club Brugge for £9.5 million. He's a backup forward option. On any normal occasion, he's clearly nowhere near good enough to play for Real Madrid, but in a needs-must situation, need a backup player. He has joined us for relatively cheap. Joan Jordan has joined us from Sevilla as well for £2 million. Very cheap. A DM centre midfield player, again, not exactly very good enough to Real Madrid, but he's just here as a fringe player. And the last player to join us was Alberto Moreno. He joined us on loan from Villarreal for the season, 31 years of age. He is purely here as a backup left back to Fran Garcia. So they are all the signings that I've made so far. Obviously, this is probably the most signings I'll make in a single season, since we only have 14 players in the squad. In terms of players who left us, no players left us at all even on loan. All these players left us before I even joined the club. So I've signed 9 new players here with Real Madrid, 3 of them from Real Sociedad. So in terms of the team, this is the tactic I'm going with at the start here as well. Those of you who watched my recent videos will know that I pretty much play with the exact same tactic for every team, to be honest. I just switch the roles around a little bit from time to time. So in goal, we've got Kepa. On the right back, playing as an inverted wing back on support, we've got Dani Carvajal. We've got Moreno or Fran Garcia left back, wing back on support. In defence, we've got Nacho and El Estundo, both as ball playing defenders. And in midfield, we've got Moreno as a segundo volante. We've got Zubamendi as a defensive midfielder on support. And then we've got Brahim Diaz as an attack midfielder on support. And then the front three is looking quite good, to be fair. Well, the 2 wingers are looking quite good. We've got Nico Williams as a winger on attack. And then we've got Pino on the left as an inverted winger on attack. And then we've got Joselu up front as a complete forward on attack. So obviously the team is not looking amazing, let's be honest. I'm not expecting us to win the league in the first season, not by any stretch, but it's looking a lot better than what it was. But clearly there's still some problem areas of the pitch, such as a striker. Also the centre-backs still aren't great. Left-back isn't amazing either. So obviously a lot of improvements yet to come. In terms of players on the bench, we've got Dani Ceballos there. We've also got Fran Garcia, we've got Fabian as well. So I think this team should be good enough to get a top 7 finish minimum. Hopefully we can qualify for the Champions League, but I think winning the league is definitely a bit of a stretch. But anyway, let's see what we'll do in Season 1. Well, Season 1 was actually a lot better than I anticipated, to be honest. We almost won the league title. It was only 1 point behind Barcelona in the end, which is absolutely crazy for me, to be honest. Only 1 point behind Barcelona. We also dropped points in our last 5 games, so almost a memorable Season 1 win for us. I think our season preview was 4th place after I made all the signings. Before that, it was a lot worse, of course. But yeah, a decent start to the experiment here. 2nd in the league, Champions League football for next season. Unfortunately, Champions League this season was very poor. Knocked out in the group stage, which is terrible for Real Madrid. The Spanish Cup as well got knocked down in the 4th round by Levante. And the Spanish Super Cup knocked down in the semi-final by Atletico Madrid. But the first season in the league is actually quite promising. Hopefully we can build upon that, we shall see. In terms of the best player of the season as well, it goes to Yeremy Pino. He got 14 goals and 11 assists in 40 games. Also, Diaz did quite well, as did Nico Williams as well. Mikel Merino also got in the green for his average rating. But other than those 4 players, no other player in the green rating. So clearly the team isn't good enough yet, although we came 2nd in the league. But the other 3 competitions were very disappointing. But what will Season 2 bring? Well, let's find out. Well, here in Season 2 now, I've made 6 more signings at the start of the season. And also, no player has left the club as of yet at the start of the 2nd season here. Actually, I made 7 signings, technically. So the first player to actually join us was Fabian. That was already sorted out. He joined us for £23.5 million from PSG, so I'm happy with that. Also, I did sign Kepa in the end. I signed him for £45 million from Chelsea. There's not really... obviously, I can only sign part Spanish players or Spanish players. There's not really an abundance of goalkeepers out there I can sign. One I can sign is Unai Simon for a lot more money than Kepa, about £64 million I think it is. And Kepa is arguably a little bit better in my opinion, so I opted for Kepa. Also, Joselu's joined us permanently as well. Not really interested in signing a 34-year-old striker, but only for £1.3 million. He will do for a season. I also signed Assane Diao from Real Betis on a free transfer. He is a wonder kid, only 18 years of age. Got him on a free transfer, so I'm happy with that. He hasn't got the biggest potential in the world, but he could be a useful squad player in the future. And for absolutely nothing, not really any complaints there, is there? The next 3 players I signed, well, the first one was the most expensive. That is Pau Torres. He joins us from Aston Villa for £75 million, rising up to £80 million. He's one of the best centre-backs I can actually sign here for Real Madrid. And I'm relatively happy with the signing of him. Yes, he's expensive, but he's a very good centre-back, very good defensively. He's also very good physically as well. He also can kick a ball. He can pass, so he's got 15 passing. He's also got decent composure as well. So very happy with the signing of Pau Torres. The next 2 players I signed were pretty much squad players. Brian Zaragoza has joined us from Granada for £12 million. Only 23 years of age, not the best, but he can play on either wing. He can also play as an attacking midfielder and a striker as well if needed, so he has joined us. And Tony Martinez has joined us from Porto for £18 million. Not exactly the best striker we could sign. Well, he's one of the best strikers I could sign, to be honest with you. But he is better than Joselu, and he's better than Jutgla as well. So hopefully he does a job for us, but clearly I still need to sign a better striker in the future. Even though I'm not doing a homegrown challenge like with Barcelona, I still will be relying heavily on the youth system. So I think it'll be a fair few seasons before we start to do anything in the video here. Also, if you're wondering what I'm doing here with Real Madrid, well, I'm going on holiday for the season. The director of football is in charge of anything to do with staff, and the assistant's in charge of training, etc., and picking the team. I am purely here just building the team and making the tactics. So I go on holiday for the season, and I select use current match tactics, and I let the assistant get on with it. Also, for the sake of the video here, I make myself unsackable, so I don't get sacked whilst trying to make Real Madrid the best team in the world, purely using only Spanish players. So obviously no players have left us, so I'm actually starting to build a bit of a 25-man squad here. Also, one player I forgot to mention is Sergio Reguilon. He's joined us on loan for the season as well as a backup left back, instead of Moreno, who left the club at the end of last season. So in terms of this starting 11 now, Pau Torres is in the team now in the head of Nacho, so definitely strength with that position, that is for sure. Kepa is signed permanently, but of course he was on here alone last season. Fran Garcia, he's our number one left back now. Midfield hasn't changed at all, and the wingers haven't changed. And Martinez is our new striker over Joselu. So I've made quite a few signings, but not really strengthened the team that much. Although Pau Torres as a new centre-back has definitely strengthened that position. What will we do in Season 2 though? Only 1 point off the top in Season 1. Can we go one further and win the league in Season 2? Or is that being too ambitious? Well, it was definitely being too ambitious. This season we finished 5th in the league, unfortunately, with just 71 points. And Villarreal have won the league with only 81 points. So we're not a million miles away from first place Villarreal. We're only 4 points behind Valencia as well. It seems like it was a very tight league this season. We also lost 2 of our last 5 games, so that definitely didn't help. But 5th in the league clearly isn't good enough. Just above Alves and Cadiz, which is, not great at all. The Champions League, we didn't get out of the group again. This time it's the league phase, but we were knocked out in the league phase, which is very disappointing. Haven't got through the Champions League stage yet, the initial first stage. The Spanish Cup knocked down in the 4th round again, this time by Eibar. And the Spanish Super Cup knocked down in the semi-final again by Atletico Madrid. Also, I should mention that Villarreal are probably the second biggest club in Spain at the moment after Barcelona. They actually signed Tchouaméni on a free transfer, who used to play for us, of course. So Villarreal are definitely a team to worry about here in this video. In terms of the squad as well, best player of the season again is Brahim Diaz with 13 goals and 8 assists. Also, Nico Williams did quite well again with 11 goals and 9 assists. Fran Garcia had a good season. New signing Pau Torres did quite well. Zaragoza played 32 games, or started 32 games, got 14 goals and 8 assists, good from him. And Pino got 10 goals and 8 assists as well. But again, not too many players in the green here, so we're not really clicking too well at the moment. But again, also, the team isn't complete yet, nowhere near close to being complete yet. So I'm sure it's going to be quite a few seasons without a trophy here for us for Real Madrid. I'm waiting for the young players to come through, the new regens, the new Spanish regens, also for some great regens to come through our youth system as well. So Season 2, not the best, worse than Season 1, still yet to win a trophy. Can we win a trophy in Season 3 though? Well, at the start of Season 3 here, I've actually made 5 new signings for Real Madrid, and 1 player has left us permanently. Our first player has left us permanently, and that is Jesus Vallejo. He has gone to Al Raid for £5 million. Not really a player to mention too much. He's quite poor, to be honest with you. So the new 5 signings to talk about, well, the first one's a loan signing. That is Gabri Veiga. He joins us from Al Ahly on loan for the season. We haven't got an optional future fee in there though. And also, even though he's come from the Saudi Arabian league, he's on relatively low wages for that league. 205k a week. Obviously, it's not low wages, but for the wages they're paying that league is absolutely ridiculous. Also, he's one of those players is you're thinking, why on earth is he going to play in the Saudi Arabian league, being only 22 years of age? He's 23 now, but he's a decent player for us. And also, the fact that we're severely lacking in terms of the players we can sign, he could be a very important player for us in the future. I can sign him permanently. He's only 23 years of age, and he's obviously very good as well. The next player to join us is a very exciting one of the highest rated Spanish wonder kids. That is Ivan Fresneda. He joins us from Sporting Lisbon for £44.5 million. Already got 2 caps for Spain, only 20 years of age. And also, great news about him is he's back home. He actually started his career at Real Madrid before he got released to play for Leganés, Valladolid, then Sporting Lisbon. So he is back home, which is very nice. Also, he's a very good player as well. Only 20 years of age, about to turn 21. But he's our number 1 starting right back already, replacing Carvajal, who's definitely on the old side now. And he's also got room for development. So definitely a very exciting one for Fresneda. The next one to join us is a left back. That is Miguel Gutierrez. He joins us from Girona for £28 million. The first 2 seasons I was relying on 2 loan signings for a backup left back. Now I've signed a permanent one in Gutierrez. A very good player, very good overall left back. Again, he's young, 23 years of age, so he'll be battling out Fran Garcia for that number 1 starting berth in the team. The next one I signed is a former Barcelona player. As I said, I can't sign players directly from Barcelona, Atletico Madrid or Valencia, but that doesn't mean I can't sign former Barcelona players. So I've signed Nico from Porto for £42 million. Of course, he's not one of the better Barcelona wonder kids, but he's still a good player as a DM as well. He could play anywhere in the midfield if you want him to, centre midfield, should I say. He's also very well rounded as well. He's very similar to Mikel Merino, to be honest with you, almost identical to him. He's also not the best physically, but overall he's a good player, so I'm very happy with the signing of him. Also, the great news about these players is they're all 23 or younger, so hopefully they'll be here for a long time. Well, maybe not Gabri Vega, since he's on loan. And the last player to join us is actually Bajcetic. He joins us from Liverpool for £40 million. He's a potential player for us. Great news about him is he's very versatile. Can play centre-back, DM and centre midfield, or right-back as well. Obviously, I see him more as a DM-style player, but if needed, he can play centre-back or right-back. So I'm happy with the signing of Bajcetic as well. Of course, Bajcetic is not the most Spanish-sounding name, but he is Spanish. He was born in Vigo, I believe. Yeah, he's born in Vigo, and of course, he's other nationalities is Serbian, which explains his surname. But as I said, any part Spanish players counts for me as long as they haven't gained their nationality playing through the league alone. Also, 3 players have left us out on loan as well, 2 young players, and Ferran Jutgla is on loan to Cadiz for the season as well. But if you look at the season preview here for season 3, it actually has us down as a second placed team, second favourites to win the league title, but that's a little bit misleading, to be honest with you, because you actually look at the Media Dream 11 here, you've actually got 8 Barcelona players in the Dream 11, only 1 player from us, which is Pau Torres, 1 from Villarreal and 1 from Atletico Madrid. And also, according to the key players, our best player is actually Fresneda, who only makes it to 7th on the list. So, although we got predicted to finish second in the league, I still think Barcelona's team is a mile ahead of us at the moment. So, I'm not expecting to win the league title in Season 3, not at all. In terms of the team as well, this is the assistant's opinion of the best 11, by the way, not my opinion of the best 11. Obviously, here we're managing the team on a day-to-day basis. He'll be selecting the players. I am purely building the team and selecting the tactic. In terms of the tactic, I made slight tweaks to this season. I changed the inverted wing-back on support to a full-back on support, Fresneda's best role. I've also changed the wing-back to wing-back attack as well for Fran Garcia. The left winger is now an inside forward on attack, and the striker is an advanced forward on attack. So in terms of the team, we've definitely strengthened the right back position in Fresneda, because Carvajal is now 33 years of age, and his physicals are really going to pot now. So definitely strengthened the right back position, that is for sure. Centre back and goalkeeper is the same, left back's the same as well. The midfield 3 is still the same. And in terms of the wingers, well, I would say Pino is better than Zaragoza, but Zaragoza is apparently our best left winger. So haven't really strengthened the team at all for Season 3, apart from the right back position. So not really advancing the team too much here in the early stages. I'd like to buy a couple more better forward players, but of course, severely lacking in that department. Need to have some Spanish regens come through who have great potential. Hopefully that can happen in the coming seasons. But anyway, let's see what will happen in Season 3. Well, in January, I actually managed to make one more signing. I know I said I was lacking in the forward options. I managed to bring in Dani Olmo from RB Leipzig for £72 million. Very happy with the signing of Olmo. He's on the old side again, 28 years of age, but he's a very good player, one of the better players we could sign, to be honest. So very happy with that. Technically, he's very good. Mentally, he's very good as well. Physically, he's a little bit lacking there, but if he plays through the middle, which hopefully he does, he'll hopefully be a very, very good player for us. And also, it's not so simple as just to sign every Spanish player manageable, because a lot of the players don't actually want to join me, especially now we're struggling, not doing too well at the moment. So not every Spanish player is actually available for us to sign. And of course, as I said, Barcelona players, Atletico Madrid and Valencia players have no interest whatsoever. So Lamine Yamal, Pedri, Gavi, we can forget about those players for now, unless we sign them from another club in the future. In terms of the league table this season, well, better than last season. Got 6 more points this season. Only 2 points off the top again, but look at that end to the season. Failed to win our final 2 games of the season, lost and drew. 2 wins in those final 2 games, or just 1 win there, and we could have won the league title. We came third, 2 points behind Real Sociedad in second, and Barcelona in first place. Playing Europa League football this season, since we finished 5th last season, we got knocked down in the quarter-final by Newcastle, unfortunately, and the Spanish Cup, we knocked down in the 3rd round by Mallorca. So the Spanish Cup not going too well. Haven't got past round 4 as of yet. The Spanish Super Cup, we weren't even invited to play this season. And no Champions League football as well. So the first 3 seasons, A couple of league positions have been quite promising, has to be said. We finished second in the league, 1 point behind Barcelona. We finished third in the league this season, only 2 points off the top as well. Not too bad, seeing as our current squad at the moment. Seems like we had a lot of better performances this season, but understandable, seeing as we were playing in the Europa League against weak opposition. So, Gabri Veiga had the best season, but he only started 16 games. Also, Nico Williams had a good season again, 11 goals, 8 assists. Tony Martinez got 24 goals for the season. Pau Torres was decent again. Fresneda had a good first season with a 7.18 average rating there. So the third season again was quite promising. Only 2 points off the top, but 3 seasons played so far. No trophy to talk of. And also we're yet to get past even the league phase of the Champions League. Well, into season 4 now, and I've definitely discovered a big problem here for Real Madrid. The big problem is I can only sign 30-year-olds onto a 1-year contract. So that is a big problem because when the players get down to their last year of the contract and they're 30 years of age, I cannot extend their contract. And then all the Saudi Arabian clubs come in for them. They're interested. They turn their heads. And none of them are interested in staying at the club. So I have to cash in at the start of the season rather than risk losing them on the free. So unfortunately, a couple of players have left us this season due to that reason. And also, it's probably going to continue in that fashion for the rest of the video here. So that is definitely a big problem and something I need to look at in terms of the older players. Well, firstly I should mention is Dani Carvajal and Lucas Vazquez have both retired from football, and also last season Joselu retired as well. Also, Nacho has left the club. He's gone to Al Tawun on a free transfer. Mario De Luis has gone to Aston Villa for £1 million. He's only a backup goalkeeper, nowhere near good enough. 2 players have gone to Saudi Arabia, both midfielders as well, which is a big problem. Fabian has joined Al Ittihad for £30 million. He has just turned 30 years of age, only 1 year left on his contract, not interested in staying. And the same with Mikel Merino, absolutely gutted about this. He's one of our better players, to be honest with you. He has joined Al Hilal for £67 million. He has just turned 30 as well. But of course, when they turn 30 years of age, they're not done, are they? They can still play for another 3 or 4 seasons, most of them, at a top level, depending on their natural fitness, of course. But since Marino's got pretty good natural fitness, I was expecting him to play on for at least 2 more seasons at a high level. So, gutted to see him leave, but there's not much I could do about that. It's the board rules. Only 1 year contract for players over the age of 30, so that is a big problem. Also, another midfielder has left us. Dani Ceballos has joined Nice for £20.5 million. So I've signed 5 new players here in Season 4. The first one to join us is actually not Spanish. He is half Spanish though, and that is Alejandro Garnacho. He joins us from Man United for a whopping £85 million. Probably overspent on Garnacho, to be honest with you, because I don't think he's that great on this Foot Manager. He's looking great in real life, and I feel like they've done him a little bit dirty on this FM, to be honest. Doesn't look that great at all. One thing he has got though is great pace, 18 acceleration, 18 pace. So I'm kind of regretting signing him now for such big money, £85 million. But we shall see how he goes. Obviously, he's Argentinian, 8 caps for Argentina, but he actually was born in the city of Madrid, as you can see there. Of nationality Spanish, of course. He actually started off his career in the red side of Madrid for Atletico before going to Man United. The next one I signed is another very expensive player. Also, I should mention that, a lot of these fees are absolutely ridiculous. But that is because I can only sign these players. I can't go and sign better bargain players, which I normally would do from other countries. So I'm very limited in my choice here of Real Madrid. And it's only Season 4, so any great regions that have come through any club as of yet, not really good enough to play for us at the moment. So the next one is very expensive as well. He's definitely not worth £98 million, but I'll spend that money on him nonetheless. That is Danny Vivian from Athletic Bilbao for £98 million. As I said, he is not worth that money. I am quite sure of that. I'm quite aware of this. But this is a needs-must situation here for Real Madrid. So he's joined us for £98 million. The good news about him is he can play centre-back or DM. He's only 6 foot, so he's not the tallest centre-back to talk of. But he has got decent jumper reach and heading. He pretty much just meets the requirement for a centre-back. He's also got great composure and 16 composures. But I think it's safe to say that he's not a world-class centre-back. He's not worth £98 million, but hopefully he'll do a job for us. The next signing I made is David Raya. He's a new goalkeeper for us. Kepa has left the club as well. Actually, sorry, Kepa hasn't left the club at all. I don't know what I'm talking about. I need a new goalkeeper. I sold my backup goalkeeper. And if Kepa got injured, say, we are in a whole heaps of trouble in that goalkeeper situation. So I signed David Raya from Bournemouth, actually. Playing for Arsenal in real life, of course. I signed him for £68 million. He is 30 years of age, though, so definitely a risk. He's only on a 1-year contract. Also, I can try and attempt to sign these players to extend their contract 6 months down the line. Obviously, some are going to stay, some are going to leave. So I always assess the situation at the start of the season. I'm hoping because David Raya is a new signing, he will agree to an extension in the January point so we can get him on for another season. Also, I do it just before players can approach to sign him on a free transfer. Otherwise that would be disastrous, wouldn't it? Yeah, David Raya is here as a, well, I say a backup keeper, but him and Kepa are on a very similar level, to be honest. So very happy with the signing of him. Obviously, he's a very good sweeper keeper, got great kick in, great passing ability as well. He's quite good, actually, quite good. Not the best aerially. Again, not really on the tall side for a goalkeeper, only 6 foot. He's also got great agility as well, with 18 agility. So I'm very happy with the signing of Raya, to be honest. I feel like we've got, well, 2 of the top 5 best Spanish goalkeepers in the world at the club now, in Kepa and Raya. So that's definitely very convenient. And the next 2 signings I made was Mika Marmol from Juventus for £92 million. Again, I know he's not worth £92 million. He's 25 years of age though, so he's on the young side, which is great. And he can play centre-back and left-back. So happy with the signing of him, although it was very expensive. And I also signed another player from Real Sociedad in Benat Turientes for £60 million. He's actually our new DM. He's actually replacing Mikel Merino, who he signed from the same club. As I said, I'm gutted about Merino because he's a very good player for us. Very happy with Merino. Turientes is not quite as good as him, but he's still only 24 years of age. And hopefully he'll still improve going forward. We're still predicted to finish second in Season 4 here, but as you can see from the odds, Barcelona are strong favourites for the league title. And also you look at the Media Dream 11, 9 Barcelona players in there, 1 from us in Fresneda and 1 from Villarreal in our former player Tchouaméni. Well, in terms of the starting 11 for this season, obviously you've got Dani Vivian now as a new centre-back to partner Pau Torres. Not looking that bad, to be honest. Also got David Raya in goal. Says he's back up, but him and Kepa are on a similar level. In the midfield, we've got Nico now to partner Turientes, so not looking too bad. And Dani Olmo in the midfield, of course, signed him in January. The front 3 got Williams, Zaragoza, and Tony Martinez, but we've also got Yerry Pino at the club as well. But the striker situation is still very troublesome, it has to be said. Tony Martinez, not really the greatest player to be leading the line for us. So what will we do in Season 4? Let's find out. Well, in Season 4, actually our best season to date, point-wise and league position-wise. We actually got 93 points this season, which is very nice. But unfortunately for us, Barcelona got 97. So we didn't win the league title. Only 3 losses all season. Away to Betis 4-3, but look at that. A home and away to Barcelona. If we would have won one of those games, our home game against Barcelona, we would have won the league title. So definitely a big problem, the fact that our clubs aren't on a similar level in terms of the playing squad at the moment. So yeah, that's a bit gutting, to be honest. A bit gutting. 4 points off the top, but 93 points is very nice. Definitely promising, but just so we beat Barcelona at home, we would have won the league title. The Champions League, thankfully we got through the league phase this time round, but we got knocked out in the playoff round by PSG. Of course, that's a very tricky game to play in a playoff round. We also got past the 4th round in the Spanish Cup as well. We got to the quarter-final, where unfortunately we lost to Valencia. We won our first trophy of the video here. We won a Spanish Super Cup. We won that this season. Obviously a minor trophy, but at least we're off the mark now. We've won 1 trophy in the Spanish Super Cup. In terms of the squad as well, relatively new signing Dani Olmo had the best season of anyone with 16 goals and 11 assists. Definitely a very impressive signing, it has to be said. Nico Williams, again, good season, 16 goals, 9 assists. He's had 4 good seasons, Williams, but hasn't really had a standout season as of yet. Turientes did quite well. Good replacement for Merino. 13 goals and 3 assists for him from midfield. Fresneda still impressing. He's probably one of our better players now. Probably our best player, to be honest, Fresneda, with 9 assists for him for the season. Gutierrez as well. He's our number 1 left back right now over Fran Garcia. He got 2 goals and 11 assists. And Zaragoza got 8 goals and 11 assists as well. And top goal scorer for the season again was Tony Martinez with 22 goals and 5 assists as well. So in Season 4, we won our first trophy, the Spanish Super Cup. Will we win another trophy in Season 5? Well, unfortunately at the start of Season 5 here, we've actually taken a battering in terms of our centre-backs. Both our starting centre-backs have left the club for, you guessed it, Saudi Arabia. Elistundo has joined Al Qadsiya on a free transfer, and Pau Torres, who is in his last year of his contract and he's over 30 years of age, has joined Al Hilal for £54 million. So I'm gutted with that, to be honest, because obviously my range is limited here in terms of the players I can sign. Pau Torres is probably the best centre-back I can sign who is Spanish, and he's left the club, even though he's got a couple of years left at least to play at the highest level. But what can I do? Can't offer him, can't extend his contract. and he's interested in going to Saudi Arabia, we can either risk losing him on a free transfer or cash in on him while we can. So he has gone to Al Hilal for £54 million. Also, Kepa has gone to Al Ittihad for £12 million. Good news is, though, we've got David Raya at the club. He's extended his contract for at least a year. And other than that, no permanent sales to talk of. Garnacho has gone on loan to Hoffenheim for the season. Hasn't really worked out for him, to be honest with you. He's not really developed very nicely. He didn't really get a lot of game time last season, so he has gone on loan to Hoffenheim. And also, Devontae Brown. Doesn't sound very Spanish. He's actually the biggest prospect we've got who came through our youth system. He's on loan to Tenerife for the season. He's actually English. As I said, players who come through the youth system obviously count to this experiment. His other nationalities are actually Jamaican. Been in the country for a long time now. I think that's about 8 years he's been in the country. But he has 783 days left to hopefully gain nationality. So that is why he's on loan to Tenerife for the season, to keep him in Spain, so he can gain the nationality. But as you can see there, he did come for the youth intake. So he is English, Devontae Brown, but he came for the youth system, and hopefully he'll gain Spanish nationality in the future. So in terms of players who have joined us, I only signed 2 players, unfortunately. One of them is Valentin Gomez from Frankfurt for £32 million. He's actually Argentinian, but his other nationalities are Spanish, as you can see there. He's actually never played in Spain. He started his career in Argentina, but obviously that means that he's part Spanish from birth. He's never played in the country, so he has joined the club. Not the greatest, though, to be honest. We actually replaced Pau Torres with Valentin Gomez, which is a little bit of a downgrade, it has to be said. Obviously, Torres is a lot better defensively and a lot better in the air as well. So this is the problem I'm facing here with some of the players. Lose a big player like Pau Torres, we cannot replace him effectively. And the next player to join us was Mikel Oyarzabal, a player I tried to sign in the first few seasons here. Unfortunately, every time I went to go sign him, he chose to accept Real Sociedad's new contract offer, which actually has happened with a lot of players for me so far, which is very, very annoying, it has to be said. Finally, I got him for £144 million, which is absolutely ridiculous. And also, it's even more ridiculous the fact that he's 31 years of age. But again, this is a needs-must situation. We need a new striker. That is absolutely paramount. And he may only be here for 1 year, maybe 2. But he could be very important in terms of the experiment here. He's a very, very good player, Oyarzabal. If he was better physically, he'd be absolutely unbelievable. But unfortunately, he's not. But as an attacking midfielder, or on the left or on the right, he could definitely do a job for us. Hopefully he does, seeing as he cost me £144 million for a maximum of 2 seasons. So in terms of the season preview for Season 5, again, we're second favourites to win the league title. But again, the Media Dream 11 absolutely dominated by Barcelona players. 8 of the 11 are Barcelona players. And we actually haven't got a single player in the Media Dream 11. We've got Guerra from Valencia, who of course is a player we cannot sign since he plays for Valencia. Joao Felix from Real Madrid, and Tchouaméni, our former player, for Villarreal. So definitely worrying going into Season 5 here, although apparently Nico Williams is the 3rd best player in the league. So this is the assistant's opinion of the best 11 at the team. Definitely gone down a little bit this season in terms of the defence. Our centre-back partnership is not looking as good as previous years. We've got Mika Marmol here, who's one of Pau Torres' replacement, along with Danny Vivian. They also haven't got a very good partnership, as you can see there, which is not good. In terms of the forward options, though, looking a little bit better, has to be said. We're looking a lot better than previous seasons. We've got Oyarzabal at the team, but he's 31 years of age, so he'll be gone very quickly. Danny Olmo, of course, and apparently Yeremy Pino is our best striker at the club. And clearly, he is not a striker, so that's still a very worrisome position. But anyway, what we do in Season 5, won our first trophy last season in the Spanish Super Cup. Will we win another one in Season 5? Let's find out. Before we get started with the results for Season 5 though, guys, please remember that if you do like this video, to hit that like button for me. It's very important for the video's success. And also, if you're new around here and you want to see more from me, do hit that subscribe button as well. It'd really help me out, and it's much appreciated. Well, first things first, before we get started with anything, I would like to mention some of the young players we have at the club. Obviously, these are players that have come through my youth system. We've got quite a few coming through now. We've got 4 20-year-olds, all potentially 5 stars, well, 1 4.5 stars, in Devontae Brown, Edu Gomez, Sofroni, and Jose Carlos. Actually, only one of them is Spanish, that is Edu Gomez. Brown is actually English, Sofroni is Moldovan, which is very strange, and Jose Carlos is, of course, Brazilian. But they all did come through the youth system. I'm not signing any players who are not Spanish or part Spanish from any other club, so they will develop Spanish nationality. Some of them have already, so definitely one for the future, those 4 there. In terms of our results for this season, though, again, a decent points tally, it has to be said. 92 points again, which should be enough to see us win the league title. But unfortunately for us, Barcelona got 96 points with a plus 100 goal difference as well. It's absolutely disgusting. But I can't really complain too much with what the team's doing at the moment. We're getting above 90 points the last 2 seasons. But unfortunately for us, Barcelona are just way too strong for us in the league at the moment. The Champions League as well was much better, it has to be said. By far our best performance. We got to the semi-final where unfortunately we got knocked out by Spanish side Villarreal. The Spanish Cup not going too well. Knocked down in the 4th round again, this time by Oviedo. And unfortunately we couldn't defend our crown in the Spanish Super Cup. We were knocked down in the semi-final by Real Sociedad. But no trophy this season, but for the squad we've got, I think it's quite a good performance, to be honest. Second in the league with 92 points is nice, and semi-final of the Champions League is nice as well. Of course, it's a little bit upsetting the fact that we got knocked out by Villarreal in the Champions League, and also only 4 points behind Barcelona in the La Liga as well. But definitely some promising signs here. The team is by no means complete at all as of yet. A long way to go yet in this video, and hopefully we can start seeing some of these regens that come through the youth system and some other regens I'll sign in the future to make this squad absolutely great. In terms of best player of the season, well, that goes to Dani Olmo. He got 19 goals and 17 assists for the season. Unfortunately, he's 30 years of age now. And as you can see, he's wanted by a Saudi Arabian club, wanted by Al Hilal. So that's a big problem here for us. As soon as he hit 30, they're goners, basically. Fresneda, another great season for him, with 7.23 with 1 goal and 4 assists, but definitely a very consistent right back. Yerry Pino got 19 goals this season, which is nice in 39 starts. Gutierrez had a good season again. Turiente's had a good season. Nico Williams had a poor ending to the season, it seems, but he still got 13 goals and 8 assists. And top goal scorer again was Tony Martinez with 20 goals. But we had Pino and Olmo both with 19 goals apiece as well. So in Season 5, again, very promising. We finished second in the league with 92 points. We also got through to the Champions League semi-final, but 5 seasons played so far, only 1 trophy to talk of, and that was the Spanish Super Cup. What will Season 6 bring? Well, let's find out. Well, in Season 6 here, only 2 players have left us permanently, and only 4 new signings to talk of. The 2 players leave us permanently. The first one was Brahim Diaz. He has joined Juventus for £22 million. Started off as an important player for us, but now we've got Dani Olmo, who's definitely taking his position in the team. And the next player to leave us as well was actually Hassan Diao. Obviously, I signed him on a free transfer from Real Betis. He developed to a decent standard, has to be said, but not really good enough for us. As you can see there, physically he's very good, but in terms of his technical side of his game, not really the best. And the great news about him is we actually got £66 million from Man City for him, so definitely a nice signing to make on a free transfer to sell him for £66 million a couple of seasons later. Also, as you can see here, lots of players going out on loan. These are the regen players that are starting to come through the youth system now. Some very exciting players in here, to be honest, such as Ajibola, Sofroni as well, and also Edu Gomez. Sofroni is not, he's actually Moldovan. He's got 19 caps for Moldova and 3 goals. He definitely got very high potential. That is why he's on loan to Mallorca for the season, to hopefully get him the Spanish nationality in the future. As you can see, only 619 days left to get the Spanish nationality. As you can see there, he started off his career at Real Madrid. So in terms of the players that have joined us, the first one to join us was Roberto Ruiz from Levante for £10.5 million. He's actually a regen player, 20 years of age now. Not got the biggest potential in the world, but £10.5 million is very cheap. And also, you can't be very picky here with this sort of challenge. So he has joined the club. If he's not good enough for us in the future, hopefully we'll get some big profit on him or some profit on him. But next one to join us is another regen. That is Joan Ramon Elina, who joins us from Porto for £37 million. He is 20 years of age as well. He's a new midfielder. Quite well rounded, it has to be said. Mentally, he's very good, which is nice. 20 bravery is very nice indeed. He's on loan to Mallorca for the season. Mark Bernal has joined us from Man United for £65 million. For those of you who don't know who he is, I know who he is. I just done a Barcelona homegrown challenge not long ago. He is a Barcelona graduate. He starts his career off at Barcelona, but obviously he must have signed for Man United. He signed for Man United for £21.5 million, and we signed him for £65 million. Definitely a very good midfielder, only 21 years of age, already got 2 caps and 1 goal for Spain, and he's very well rounded as well, very well rounded. He's very good physically, as you can see there, but he's also very technically good as well and very mentally good. At the moment, he's looking very well rounded and very good. If he develops from this point onwards, we could have an absolutely world-class player on our hands here. So hopefully the assistant manager uses him very, very wisely. And the last signing I made is actually Jose Duque. I signed him from the Sevilla B squad for £32 million. He's only 19 years of age. He has very high potential. Doesn't look like it as of yet, but he's still got time to develop that, is for sure. Hopefully he does, but at the moment he's obviously not good enough. So in terms of the season preview for Season 6, again, second in the league is our prediction, behind Barcelona, who are strong favourites again. We do have one player in the Media Dream 11 though, and that is our goalkeeper David Raya, who's still here at the club. Just because they hit 30 years of age doesn't mean they necessarily leave, but if they have Saudi Arabian clubs after them, 9 out of 10 will want to join that league for the money, understandably. But David Raya is one of those players who doesn't want to leave as of yet, so he is here at the club. We do have a problem though with risking it in terms of leaving on a free transfer, but some of the players, especially for their value, I just risk it anyway if we can't get big money for them. The other 9 players are Barcelona players, and the other one is, of course, Tchouaméni, who plays at Villarreal these days. Also, Oyarzabal is agreed to extend his contract for another year as well, but it could be his last season. Same with Dani Olmo. In terms of 30-plus-year-olds in the starting 11, we've got Oyarzabal, Olmo, and David Raya. So all 3 of those players could not be here at the end of the season, we shall see. In terms of the starting 11, it hasn't really changed at all since last season, so haven't really strengthened the team. At this point, I've decided to change my tactic a little bit in terms of going for more of the younger players and trying to build a great team over a longer period instead of trying to buy bigger 20-year-old something for them right now to try and make us as good as possible, because it hasn't really worked out for me so far. A lot of them are leaving for Saudi Arabia, and also they haven't really got the greatest ability in the world, a lot of them, where some of the young players, of course, aren't as good, but in the future could be a lot better. But anyway, let's see what will happen in Season 6. One trophy to talk of so far, the Spanish Super Cup. Can we win our second in the 6th season? Well, this is absolutely disgusting, to be honest with you. It's our 3rd season in a row with 90-plus points. We finished off with 92, 93, and now 92 again. And we still haven't won the league yet. 1 point behind Villarreal, who won the league title, and joint on points with Barcelona with 92 points. Absolutely disgusting. We should have won a league title by now. Minimum 92 points the last 3 seasons. At least one of those seasons should have been enough, but unfortunately it wasn't. Obviously, it's great that we're getting very close to Barcelona and Villarreal, who are winning the league this season, but yeah, no league title to talk of. 6 seasons played, but very, very close again. Absolutely disgusting. We drew 2 of our last 5 games as well. Away to Atletico and away to Barcelona, both 1-1. Obviously tricky games, but 1 win there, and we'd have won the league title. Devastated. The Champions League got to the quarter-final this season, so definitely got better in that competition. This time, again, knocked out to a Spanish team, to Barcelona. The Spanish Cup, we got to our first final, but unfortunately we lost that game. We actually lost the final of the Spanish Cup to Barcelona 1-0, so they knocked us out the Champions League and the Spanish Cup, and we finished behind them in the league. And the Spanish Super Cup, who was we knocked out to? You guessed it, Barcelona in the semi-finals. So Barcelona tore us a new one this season, although they did win the league title. That went to Villarreal, but only 1 point separating the top 3 clubs. Absolutely disgusting. As I said, our last 3 seasons, we've got at least 92 points in every single season, and we're yet to win the league title. Came close again to winning the competition, 1 point behind in the league, and also got to the final of the Spanish Cup, but 6 seasons played, we've only won 1 trophy in the Spanish Super Cup. In terms of the players, well, best player of the season was Fresneda with 3 goals and 12 assists, but he's a very consistent player, a very good defender for us, Fresneda. He has developed very nicely as well. As you can see here, he's class, he's world class, to be honest with you. 31 caps for Spain. I've had him in some of our rebuilds I've done in the past in this Football Manager, and he's never turned out quite as good as this. He obviously still turns out to be a very good player, but in this time for Real Madrid here, it seems like coming home to Madrid has really taken his game to the next level, because in my opinion he's one of the best right backs on the game now. So very happy with the signing of him. Very good season again. Gutierrez again with another good season, so both the fullbacks doing very well. Oyarzabal got 30 goals and 11 assists this season. Dani Olmo got 15 goals and 12 assists as well. And Nico Williams got 18 goals and 10 assists. Also, as you can see there, not really a big player for us, but you might recognise his name, Canizares. Lucas Canizares, he's our backup goalkeeper, and he is the son of Santiago. He's not a favourite player. He's not a favourite personnel, but I know for a fact he is the son of Santiago Canizares, the former Valencia goalkeeper and the former Real Madrid goalkeeper as well. But anyway, enough talk about that. What will we do in Season 7? Well, let's find out. Well, at the start of Season 7 here, 4 new players have joined us and 4 players have left us permanently as well. The first one to leave us was Tony Martinez. He joined Al Nassr on a free transfer. I tried to get him to sign a new contract in January, but of course I failed in that regard. But he isn't the best player anyway, so I'm not too unhappy about him leaving on a free transfer. The next two both went, the next one went to Saudi Arabia, sorry. That is Oyarzabal, who had his best season for us last season, but unfortunately he doesn't want to extend his contract past this year. He's joined Al Ali for £64 million. So we got 80 million, well, we got £64 million back from the £144 million I spent on him. So 2 seasons out of him. To lose £80 million. I've heard of worse things, though. Not too unhappy about that. He's also 32 now, so he's definitely going to start the decline very quickly. And also his physical attributes are already not very good. So £64 million for a 32-year-old, not too bad. Also, Jutgla has left the club. He's gone to Celta Vigo for £4.9 million. And also Alvaro Rodriguez. He's been out on loan for a few seasons, but unfortunately hasn't developed good enough. He has gone to Al Faya for £12.5 million. Also, a lot of players going out on loan now as well, also including Garnacho's on loan to Monaco again for the season. Not really done very well, Garnacho. £85 million down the drain, it has to be said. In terms of the 4 players who join us, well, the first one is Georges Cuenca, who joins us from Villarreal for £124 million. He is 29 years of age now, but the centre-back problem here in terms of Spanish centre-backs is a big problem outside Barcelona, Atletico Madrid and Valencia, because of course those clubs have got some decent ones, but we cannot sign them, obviously. Georges Cuenca, I've actually tried to sign him the last 4 seasons, and every single time he has chosen to accept a new contract offer from Villarreal. So I actually tried to sign him when he was like 25, 26, but unfortunately he didn't want to join us. I finally got him when he's 29 years of age. He's a decent centre-back, not as good as Pau Torres, who's been our best one so far, who's obviously left the club now, but he's definitely a good centre-back. Obviously he's very expensive, but as I said, these price fees match the experiment here. Would not be paying £124 million for a 29-year-old Cuenca in normal circumstances. The next 3 players to join us, well, the next 2 players to join us are 2 players for the future. That is Ibon Moreno, who's joined us from Athletic Bilbao for £45.5 million. And Bilal El Amrani has joined us from Lugo for just £5 million. He's actually Moroccan, but his other nationalities are Spain. He was born in Morocco as well, but as I said, players who start their career in Spain definitely count towards this video as well. They have to be of nationality Spanish if I sign him from another club. And the last one is Gabri Veiga. He's actually joined us from RB Leipzig for £160 million. Of course, he was on loan to us in 1 season, but unfortunately, I kind of messed up in that season because I forgot that he was in his last year of his contract. I didn't try and sign him on a free transfer in that season, which I should have done, obviously. He joined RB Leipzig, and here I am spending £160 million for him a few years later. But again, it needs my situation, need another midfielder. He's 27 years of age now, but he's got a couple of seasons left at least for us, so hopefully he'll be a good one for us. So those are the signings, obviously 2 very expensive ones and 2 for the future in Moreno and El Amrani. In terms of the season preview, we're actually down to 3rd position for Season 7 now. Villarreal and Barcelona are above us apparently. And you look at the Media Dream 11, dominated by Barcelona and Villarreal players. 4 Villarreal and 6 Barcelona. But again, Fresneda makes it into the Media Dream 11. He's probably our best player in the team at the moment, to be honest, Fresneda, which is a little bit worrying. Your right back shouldn't really be your best player. Should have better players than Fresneda, but at the moment, that is the situation we're in. So in terms of the starting 11 for this season, well, actually hasn't changed from last season. A bit strange the fact that Cuenca and Gabri Veiga, 2 players I spent over £120 million on, apparently won't make the starting 11, which is a little bit worrying, to be honest. I don't know what the assistant manager is doing, but those 2 players are here nonetheless. Also, 2 other players are being called up to the first team. 2 players who come through the youth system here. Both not Spanish, by the way. That is Sofroni, who of course is Moldovan. He's 21 years of age now. He's got 257 days left to gain Spanish nationality. He is in the first team now. Not amazing as of yet, but he's definitely got high potential. Still only 21 years of age. And the other one is Brazilian Jose Carlos. He's in the first team as well. I tried to loan him out for the season. He clearly isn't good enough at the moment, but unfortunately no one will sign him. He's actually part Spanish already. Both these players did come through the youth system though. As I said, any players that come through the youth system obviously count towards this video. As soon as the fact that I make the rules, of course they count. But anyway, Season 7 here. Nothing has changed in terms of our best starting 11, so we'll see how we do in Season 7. Only 1 trophy to talk of as of yet, that is a Spanish Super Cup. Can we win the league or the Spanish Cup in Season 7? Well, the last 3 seasons, we got at least 92 points minimum in every single season without winning the league title. This time round, we got 85 points, so a little bit worse than the last 3 seasons. Still not enough to win the league title, though, even if we got 92 points, because Barcelona won it with 94 points. Second in the league, though, joint second with L'Oreal, just above them on goal difference. In terms of the Champions League, knocked down in the round of 16 by Bayern Munich, unfortunately. The Spanish Cup knocked down the quarter-final by Espanyol, and the Spanish Super Cup knocked down the semi-final by Villarreal. So 7 seasons in, only 1 trophy to talk of so far, but still, I'm still not happy with the team as of yet. Of course I'm not. I'm not happy with the starting 11 at all. Still need some better players, but the regens are starting to come through now through our youth system and through other Spanish clubs' youth system as well. So hopefully the future will be bright. This time around, though, this season, we actually drew too many games. That was our downfall. 10 games we drew this season with only 3 defeats. In terms of best player of the season, well, that goes to Dani Olmo again with 16 goals and 8 assists, but it probably will be his last season now for us. He's 32 years of age. Obviously, he's in his last year of his contract. They always are above the age of 30. Turiente's had a good season as well. Fresneda, again, he's a very key player for us here. Still only 25 years of age, so hopefully at least 5 more seasons for him minimum. Zaragoza got 13 goals and 11 assists. And Nico Williams got 18 goals and 6 assists. Also, Sofroni, our young Moldovan, who should have gained Spanish nationality by now. He has. Other nationality Spanish, so that is great. He is officially an other nationality Spanish player. He's developed very nicely this season, which is great. And he also got 17 goals in 31 starts for the season. So the first real regen is doing things for us, and that is Sofroni, who is not actually Spanish, but Moldovan. What will Season 8 bring? Let's find out. Well, at the start of Season 8 here, and 3 players have left us permanently, of course. A lot of them have gone to Saudi Arabia. The first one was Zubamendi. He joined Damak on a free transfer. Unfortunately, no team wanted to sign him in the summer, and he didn't want to sign a new contract in January because he had teams after him, so he's left us on a free transfer, unfortunately. Also, Dani Olmo has left the club. He's gone to Al Ali for £39 million. He's now 33 years of age, but he's still a little bit left to give, has to be said. And the last one to leave us was Fran Garcia. He has gone to Newcastle for £28.5 million. He's not really happy about being back up to Gutierrez these days. In terms of the players that have joined us, we've got 5 new signings to talk of. 4 of them, though, are young players. They're all regens, obviously, these days. All the young players are regens now. The highest I've spent on any of those players is £27 million. And that is for Diego de la Hoz from Brighton. And also got a new goalkeeper in Galvan from Huesca, a new backup goalkeeper, or new potential goalkeeper. And signed Cordero and Sola from Villarreal and Real Sociedad as well. The only player to join us as a real player is Ez Abdi. He's joined us from Real Betis for £53 million. As you can see, he's Moroccan. He's got 79 caps for Morocco and 37 goals. But of course, his other nationalities are Spanish. He actually started his career off at Alicante before going to Barcelona, then Real Betis. Signed him for £53 million. He's 28 years of age, so not got too many years left here at the club. But he is a good player and he can play anywhere in the forward line, so that is great. In terms of the season preview, well, again, we're up to second in the list now. But as you can see, again, for the Media Dream 11, 10 out of the 11 players are Barcelona players. Only 1 player made the Media Dream 11. That is Nico Williams on the right-hand side there. So, again, even though predicted to finish second in the league, our team is a mile away from Barcelona. Although we are doing quite well, to be honest. We yet to win the league title or a Spanish Cup, but we have come very close on a number of occasions, and realistically we should have won a league title in one of those seasons. Unfortunately we haven't. Will Season 8 be the year? Let's find out. Well, unfortunately Season 8 was not the year. It was actually one of our worst seasons to date, and it's definitely a lot worse than the last 4 seasons. We finished 4th in the league, and last season our problem was too many draws. This season our problem was too many defeats. We only drew 1 game all season. Away to Alves 2-2. We lost 11 games in the season, which of course is nowhere near good enough. 8 of them away from home, 3 of them at home as well, so that is very disappointing. 79 points only. Fortunately, we have qualified for the Champions League again. Only 1 season we've missed out on the Champions League. This time round, knocked down the quarterfinal again, this time by Bayern Munich. I think they knocked us out in the round of 16 last season, but at least we're getting further in the Champions League now. Got to a couple of quarterfinals and a semi-final, so definitely some hope in that competition. The Spanish Cup, we got to the final again. This time we lost it. This time we lost it to Valencia 1-0, which is very disappointing. The Spanish Super Cup, though, we won that again for the 2nd time, so I got a 2nd trophy in 8 seasons now, but unfortunately for us, both of them are the Spanish Super Cup. We got to a couple of Spanish Cup finals, which we've lost. We've also come very close to winning the league title on 3 occasions, I think, so could have won a lot more trophies by now, but unfortunately, we just can't get over the line in the league or the Spanish Cup. But in terms of the best player of the season, that goes to Nico Williams. He got 19 goals and 12 assists this season with a 7.21 average rating. Also, Nico did very well as well. Gutierrez got 13 assists. Sofroni, our young regen, got 16 goals and 9 assists. Playing a lot of games these days as well. 47 games now, 4-star rated player. So he's developed very nicely, as we said, Sofroni. Very good player. Torrentes did very well as well. Ez Abdi only started 11 games, but he featured in 50. He got 12 goals and 9 assists. Also, Devontae Brown is in the first team now as well. I've mentioned him earlier on. And he's of Spanish now as well, Spanish and Jamaican. Obviously, he came through the youth system as well, as you can see there. He came through the youth system. He's been on loan the last 3 seasons at Spanish clubs in Tenerife, Cadiz and Villarreal to help with him gaining Spanish nationality. Also, Alina, another player I signed, he's in the first team now as well, but he's not got the greatest ability, it has to be said. So, Season 8, we won another trophy. We won the Spanish Super Cup again. Obviously, we've come very close in other competitions. We've got the Spanish Cup final again this season, but we're yet to win anything other than the Spanish Super Cup. Will that change in Season 9? Let's find out. Well, in Season 9 here, 4 new signings to talk of, including one very exciting one, and 5 players have left us. The first player to leave us was Danny Vivian. He left us to join Al Ittihad on a free transfer. Also, Suenka has gone to Altai for £15.25 million only. I think it's safe to say that it did not work out well for Suenka here at the club. He didn't play hardly any games for the club, which of course I'm not in control of because I go on holiday for the season. The assistant selects the team. Obviously, he did not take a liking to Suenka. He did not start a single game in any competition in the first season, which is extremely bizarre, seeing as he's probably our best centre-back at the club, but the assistant seems to disagree. He's like, nah, not interested at all. Didn't start a single game for us. And in the second season, he only started 6 games in all competitions, so only 20 league appearances in total for him, which is absolutely ridiculous, since I spent £124 million on him. But anyway, he is one of the ones that definitely didn't work out. He has joined Altai for just £15.25 million, so definitely a big waste of money, it has to be said. Although I'm partly blaming the assistant manager for his treatment of Suenka. Obviously, a lot of players left us out on loan as well. Obviously, these regens that are coming through are all going out on loan. Not really going to mention them until they're in the first team, though. Too many to mention, first of all. Alejandro Garnacho has finally left the club. He's gone to Newcastle with £31 million. He didn't really develop at all, really, being at the club. Disappointing, it has to be said. Went out on loan a few times, and when he did play, he did not get too much game time. So, another one, it didn't really work out for us. Roberto Ruiz, a player I signed from Levante for £10.5 million. He has gone to RB Leipzig for £20 million. Didn't work out for him either, but we doubled our money, so that's good. And Brian Zaragoza has gone to Newcastle for £40 million. So, in terms of the players who have joined us, the first one is Enestaslo Escobar has joined us from Bournemouth for £38.5 million. He is a new fullback option, can play left back or right back. He's very good defensively and physically, but not so good going forward. So obviously not a great fullback to have, but he's still young and he can play anywhere in defence, which is very convenient. The next player to join us though was that very exciting one I'm talking of. I have signed Gavi, not from Barcelona of course. We can't sign Barcelona players, but he's joined us from Bayern Munich for £160 million. Very expensive, but again, as I said, this is a needs must situation. Not really got we haven't really got 20 players to pick off. Basically, we've got like 2 or 3 players to pick from, to be honest with you. So, not the greatest of a stretch of players, but he's joined us. He's 27 years of age still, just turned 27 as well. So, obviously, he's very young at the start. I think he's 18 at the start. £160 million is very expensive, but the fact that I can sign a former Barcelona wonder kid is just very exciting for me. He can play anywhere in midfield pretty much. So, yeah, he's definitely a very good player. Although I don't think he's developed quite as well as he did in my Barcelona homegrown challenge. He's not looking quite world class in my opinion. He is very well rounded, but I remember him being better than this, to be honest. But anyway, he's joined the club £160 million. Obviously, he's a very good player. And the fact that he's 27 years of age will obviously get a couple of seasons out of him. The next 2 players to join us was Arnaud Tanas. He joins us from Leicester for £58 million. He is our new goalkeeper. David Raya, I think, is retired, is he? Yeah, David Raya must have retired. Arnaud Tanas has joined us from Leicester for £58 million. Very expensive for a not so great goalkeeper, but again, haven't really got the greatest picks to choose from. He's an alright goalkeeper. As a backup goalkeeper, it'd be ideal. As a number 1, though, a little bit on the poor side, has to be said. But anyway, he is here. He's 30 years of age, so he's only got a 1-year contract, but hopefully he'll be here for 2 seasons at least. And the last one to join us was Stefan Samadzic from Celta Vigo for £33 million. Obviously, not the most Spanish-sounding name. He is Bosnian, but his other nationalities are Spanish. He came through the Celta Vigo youth system, so obviously he does count. He's a new centre-back. He's quite decent. He's 22 years of age. Obviously, gone are the days when we had Pau Torres at the club. I was very upset about losing him, to be honest. By now, he'd been retired anyway, so it doesn't really matter at this stage. But Yeah, Samadzic, he's a decent centre-back, but obviously not a Real Madrid starting centre-back. He'd be good as a squad player, which he is. Problem with him is, though, he's not really a ball-playing defender. On the defensive side of things, he's very good, to be honest. He's very well-rounded in his pace, his jumping reach, his strength, defending, etc. But he can't really pass the ball that well, so he's only got 8 passing. Still young though, 22 years of age, so he might still improve, and he's relatively cheap, only £33 million. In terms of the season preview, it's third for this season again, but we have got 2 players in the Media Dream 11 in Fresneda and Nico Williams, so apparently our right-hand side is quite good. The other players are dominated by Barcelona, 6 of them in the Dream 11, and 2 from Villarreal as well. In terms of the starting 11 for the season, this is the assistant's opinion. Well, Sofroni is apparently our best striker now. He's a 4-star player, definitely developed very nicely. Gavi, of course, is into the team now as well. I'd use him as a DM personally, but apparently he's our new attacking midfielder. We're lacking in that department now that Dani Olmo has left, to be honest. And now the defence and the goalkeeper are not looking so good anymore. We've got Mika Marmo, Valentin Gomez and Tenas as our goalkeeper and 2 centre-backs. Not really happy with that, to be honest with you. So that has definitely taken a hit. We're looking for some better centre-backs and goalkeeper going forward, that is for sure. You look at the rollability here. We've got a 3-star, 2.5 stars as well. So not looking so good in that regard. What will Season 9 bring, though? Let's find out. Well, in Season 9, we definitely had a better season than last season. We finished 2nd in the league this season with 87 points. So another decent points tally, but again, not as good as Barcelona, 5 points behind them. So it's now 9 seasons in a row without winning our Liga title, which is very disappointing, has to be said. The Champions League knocked down around the 16 by PSG. The Spanish Cup, we got to the final again, the 3rd time we got to the final. We lost it to Barcelona again, this time 3-2, so that's very disappointing. We should have won one of this. We should have won at least 1 Spanish Cup by now and 1 league title, judging by the way we've performed so far. And the Spanish Super Cup knocked down the semi-final by Barcelona as well. Well, in terms of the best player of the season, it wasn't actually a Spanish player, it was actually a Moldovan player, Nikolai Sofroni, with 12 goals and 4 assists with a 7.19 average rating. So I think it shows you that the season hasn't been that great in terms of the average rating of the players. Edu Gomez, he's a player I should mention. He came through the youth system here. He is Spanish. He got 10 goals and 16 assists for us. He's got 3 caps for Spain now. He's a very good player, very good physically. Very good physically. He's still improving as well, but yeah, he's a very, very good player. A player I like very much. He actually wasn't the biggest potential player that came through our youth intake that year, but he's developed very nicely. The last 3 seasons, he's been on loan at West Brom, RC Lens, and Nice, and this season had a very good one in the first team for us. Also, Ez Abde only started 13 games again, got 15 goals. Nico Williams got 14 goals and 12 assists. Nico had a good season as well, and Jeremy Pino got 27 goals and 15 assists as well. But 9 seasons played, only 2 trophies to talk of, both of them the Spanish Super Cup. What will Season 10 bring? Well, at the start of Season 10 now, and 7 new signings to talk of and 6 players to leave us to talk of. The first player to leave us was actually Bajcetic, who has gone back to his birthplace, which is Vigo. He's gone there on a free transfer. Didn't really work out for him at the club, it has to be said. Didn't really develop at all. He was no more than a bit part player over the, 7 seasons we had him? 7 seasons we had him. Didn't play too many games. Actually, last season was his most played in the season, 17 games. So, a little bit disappointed with the assistant and using him. Not really developing him at all, but maybe I could have loaned him out the first couple of seasons, get him a better player, but unfortunately it didn't work out for him. We signed him for £40 million, and he's left us on a free transfer. Also, Gabri Vega, it didn't work out for him as well. Him and George Swenka paid big money for both of them, or massive money for both of them in one season, and the assistant didn't play any of them. He has joined Al Ali, the club he actually started off at in FootballManager. He's gone there for just £13.25 million. After we signed him for £135 million. As you can see, didn't play nowhere near enough. In his first season, he only played 2 games in the league, which is just baffling. Baffling. What is this assistant doing? I have no idea. But anyway, he has left the club as well for just £13 million. Also, Jose Carlos has joined Tottenham for £44 million. He came from our youth system. He's Brazilian, but of course his other nationalities are Spanish. Didn't really develop to be the player I wanted him to be honest. As you can see, he's not really that great. He's 24 years of age, so he might get better, we shall see. Only got 1 cap for Brazil, but anyway, he's left the club. He has gone to Tottenham. Also, Mark Bernal, another one, didn't work out for him, didn't get enough game time at all. He has joined Bayern Munich for £38 million. And the last 2 players have both gone to Saudi Arabia. That is Miguel Gutierrez, been very good for us. He's gone to Al Nassr for £48 million. And Mika Momo has gone to Al Ali for £14.5 million. So those are the players that left us. Of course, many of them gone to Saudi Arabia again. In terms of the players to have joined us, well, the first player I signed is Efran Pasta from Bayern Munich for £65 million. He's only 22 years of age. He's got 9 caps and 1 goal for Spain already. The great news about him is he can play centre-back, DM or centre midfield. Don't really see him as a centre-back, to be honest. Not really the best in the air, although he can play that position. The good news about him though, is he's a very good passer of the ball. 18 passing with 17 vision and 18 composure as well. So we'll see how good he'll become. Only 22 years of age, so hopefully he can develop. We shall see. I also signed Juan Luis Santiago from Newcastle for £70 million. He is not really a centre-back, but I've signed him as a centre-back. We are struggling in that department to find some good centre-backs to bring to the club. We are really struggling in that department at the moment. So Santiago is a natural DM. Will probably be playing centre-back for us this season. He is 6'3", so he's definitely got the height requirement for it, but he's not the best in the air, has to be said. But he's still young as well, 23 years of age. Brian Blanco has joined us from Strasbourg for £31 million. He started his career at Strasbourg. He's only 16 years of age, but the potential is very high for Blanco. So obviously I'm aiming more for the younger players at the moment for the future. He started off his career in France. Obviously his other nationalities are Spanish. He's born in Puerto Real, so that is a good thing. He does start in Strasbourg, but he's back in his homeland, which is great. 4 more signings to talk of. I signed Jesus Puello from RB Leipzig for £62 million. He is a new midfielder. He's very good as well, only 23 years of age, so we'll see how good he'll become. These players I mentioned are all players in the youth in the first team, apart from Blanco, of course, who's 16 years of age. Inigo Villar has joined us from Athletic Bilbao for £31.5 million. He is another player who I'm trying to play as centre-back, but again, this is the problem with finding the centre-backs here. Not really a centre-back, only 5'11", but he's a decent player as well. Very good defensively, with 18 tackling and 16 positioning. Next one I signed was Jose Antonio Lassa from Arsenal for £48 million. He's a forward player. Well, he's a midfield player. He can play anywhere in midfield, which is great. Not amazing, but he is very skillful. He's got 20 flair, which is very nice. He's also very good physically as well. So he's 23 years of age. Hopefully he can develop. And the last player I signed is Emmanuel Iriarte from Real Sociedad for £17.75 million. He's 21 years of age. He is our new backup left back to replace Gutierrez. So in terms of the season preview, well, we're predicted for his second this season. Despite Villarreal having 5 players in the Media Dream 11, we're predicted for his second. They're predicted for his third, which doesn't make any sense to me. We've only got 1 player in the Dream 11. That is Fresneda. 5 Barcelona players and 5 Villarreal players. So I think we've got our work cut out for us again to try and win the league title in Season 10. In terms of the starting 11 for this season, well, Devontae Brown is our new starting left back. Obviously, he's English, but he came from my youth system. He's quite good. He's quite good, to be fair. Physically, he's very good. Again, going forward, he's not the best, but he can play right back or left back, which is great. He's obviously very decent. It didn't cost us a single penny, of course. The centre-back partnership, though, I'm not liking the look of it at all. Gomez and Santiago. Gomez is he's getting lots of game time. You know, he's the reason why Cuenca didn't get any game time at all, which is bizarre because Cuenca's a better player. But yeah, Gomez is still here and not amazing, to be honest. He's partnering Santiago, who again isn't really the best centre-back we can talk of. That is our biggest problem in the stages here for Real Madrid as a centre-back for sure. Puello is a new attacking midfielder. Got Gavi in the DM now. We also got Pino Williams still at the club, but they're both 30 years of age now, so it could be their last season for the club, we shall see. And Sofroni up front as well. Only 2 competitions won so far in 9 seasons, both of them Spanish Super Cup. Can that change in Season 10? Unfortunately, it cannot. We finished 3rd in the league again with 80 points, just behind Villarreal, and 9 points off Barcelona. The annoying thing is, though, if we would have got one of those seasons where we've got 92 points or 93 points, we would have won the league this season. But of course, that is not the way it works out. The Champions League knocked down the playoff round by Chelsea this season, so we're getting worse in the Champions League, it seems. The Spanish Cup knocked down the quarterfinal by Barcelona, and the Spanish Super Cup knocked down the semi-final by Villarreal. So in the 10th season, one of our worst seasons, it has to be said. But as I keep saying, this is not my best team so far. That is yet to come. And the centre-backs we've got right now is just they're way off standard, to be honest with you. I think our best centre-back would be good, would do well to make it to the 4th choice centre-back for Real Madrid in real life. That is the problem we are in right now in terms of the centre-backs. Still, there's no excuses for finishing 3rd in the league, though. That is not good enough. Best player of the season, though, was actually our new signing, Lassa. I actually signed him as a squad player, but did really well. 11 goals, 9 assists. Devontae Brown, he got 10 assists for the season. Fresneda got really well as well. Other than that, not much to talk of. Pino got 16 goals and 19 assists. And also Sofroni got 20 goals in 29 starts. But 10 seasons down here with Real Madrid, we've won 2 trophies. Both of them the Super Cup. So let's hope good times are on the horizon. We're at the start of season 11 now, and only 3 new signings to talk of, and also 7 players have left the club on permanent signings. On permanent sales, shall I say. The first one to leave us was Turientes. He's over 30 now. He has gone to Al Ittihad for £38.5 million. Also, Ez Abdi has gone to Al Nassr for £29.5 million. And Valentin Gomez has gone to Al Ittifaq for £10.75 million. Diego De La Hoz is going to Damac for £10 million. He's a player I signed from Brighton. A bit of promise, it has to be said, for £27 million. Didn't really work out for him. The last season especially, he didn't play any games at all, really. Didn't start a single game. Only made 7 appearances off the bench. He hasn't really worked out for him, so he's left us. He's gone to Saudi Arabia as well. Shock there. Yeremy Pino, who's over 30 now as well. He hasn't gone to Saudi Arabia, but he has gone to Man United for £82 million. Quite happy to get £82 million for him. Definitely worked out for us. He had, 10 seasons out of Pino, so did really well. Obviously, the last 3 seasons did really well as well. To get £82 million, more money than we spent for him, so I'm fairly happy with that. 10 seasons for a player who we get £30 million profit. Happy days. Obviously, still had a lot to give still, but what can we do about the board rules here? Only 1-year contracts at over 30-year-olds. Ajabola, a player who came from my youth intake here, has gone to Man City for £20.5 million. Hasn't really developed to an amazing standard. And we also got Edu Gomez at the club, who also came from the youth system, who's above him. So I sold him for £20.5 million. He's been on loan the last 5 seasons pretty much. So we'll see what he does at Man City. You know, these players can be signed again in the future. If they're not going to lose their Spanish nationality. Whether they want to join us or not is a different question. But we'll see about these players in the future. Might bring some of them back. We shall see. Also, Nico as well has gone to Al Ali for £35.5 million as well. So only 3 new signings to talk of. The first one is a new potential goalkeeper, Jose Ignacio Bueno, signing from Real Betis for just £8 million. He's only 16 years of age. Andoni Satraswegi is also a youngster, signing from Athletic Bilbao for £62 million. So very expensive. Only 19 years of age, but as you can see, the potential is very, very high for Satrastegui. Very expensive, but he should be worth it in the future. We shall see. Needs a loan out or 2, then hopefully it'll be good enough. And the last one I've signed is actually someone who's come straight into the first team. That is Dominic Palau. He joins us from Real Betis for £64 million. I was actually looking at him a couple of seasons ago. I decided he wasn't good enough for us, but he's actually developed very nicely, playing for Real Betis. I looked at him when he was playing for Tottenham, but he wasn't really doing very well there. Didn't play a lot of games, but as soon as he came to Spain, was a regular starter. He done really well, and now he's in the first team. He looks like a very good player. So he's the only player to come into the first team. The other 2 are younger players. In terms of the season preview for season 11 here, again, 3rd in the league. As I said, Villarreal pretty much taking our place as the 2nd biggest club in Spain at the moment. Only got 2 players in the Media Dream 11. That is Fresneda and new signing Palau. And the other ones are dominated again by Villarreal and Barcelona players. Villarreal actually have 5 players in the Dream 11 this season, while Barcelona have 4. In terms of the starting 11 for this season, well, one thing I've changed in terms of the tactic is I've changed the 2 ball-playing defenders to 2 central defenders on defend, because our 2 centre-backs can't really pass it out from the back at all, to be honest. So definitely a big problem here at the club. I'd like to sign a ball-playing defender, but I can't find these players at the moment, which is a big problem. Got Samadžić and Santiago there. The good news is, though, we've got 3 regen players who came for our youth system in the starting 11. That is Devontae Brown at left back, Sofroni as the striker, and Edu Gomez on left wing. Also, new signing Palau there in the team as well. To be honest, our midfield is probably looking like the best of the team. The midfield and the strike and the forward options. Gomez, Williams and Sofroni is quite good, to be honest. And Lassa, Gavi and Palau is very good as well. But the defence, not looking so great. The fullbacks are good though, Fresneda and Brown. But the main problem, the big problem here at the club is our 2.5-star centre-backs. And obviously our 3-star goalkeeper as well. But anyway, what will season 11 bring? Can we win another trophy? Let's find out. Unfortunately, season 10 and season 11 have been very disappointing. Season 11, we finished 3rd in the league again with 84 points. A very good goal difference of plus 66, best in the league, but obviously it matters about points in the league, not goal difference. below Atletico Madrid and Villarreal with 91 points. Barcelona, we actually got above Barcelona, but we couldn't win the league title, so that is very disappointing, has to be said. Champions League as well, again disappointing, knocked down in the round of 16 by AC Milan, disappointing. The Spanish Cup knocked down in the semi-final by Villarreal, and the Spanish Super Cup knocked down in the semi-final by Barcelona. In terms of the squad though, got some very good average ratings here. Lassa had a very good season with 16 goals and 15 assists. Definitely turned out to be a very surprising signing. Only signed him as a squad player, didn't think he'd be good enough, but I signed him anyway. He's had 2 very good seasons for us. Nico Williams as well, he's 31 years of age now. He got 28 goals and 12 assists. He's actually leaving the club end of the season though. He's joining Al Ittihad on a free transfer. Tried to risk it, tried to get him to sign a new contract. Obviously backfired. Edu Gomez as well, 8 goals, 11 assists for him, did really well. Ibon Marino, who's a new one in the first team, signed him a fair few seasons ago. He's in the first team now with 13 goals and 8 assists. Fresneda still doing very well. He's 29 years of age now though, so probably lose him very soon. Sofroni got 30 goals and 8 assists as well, so he did really well. And new signing Palau did decent with 5 goals and 7 assists. So 11 seasons played, still only those 2 Spanish Super Cups to talk of. What will season 12 bring? Well, at the start of season 12 here, I've signed a lot of players. A few players left us as well. I think 5 players have left us on a permanent sale. Arnaud Tenas has joined Al Wida on a free transfer, unfortunately. That's our goalkeeper gone. Nico Williams has joined Al Ittihad as well on a free transfer. Lucas Canizares, our backup goalkeeper, has gone to Valencia for just £2.6 million. And Joan Ramon Alina has gone to Al Shabab for £8.5 million. Obviously, a lot of loans have gone out as well. A lot of our young players. A lot of very promising young players, by the way. Definitely be building up that part of the team, has to be said. Hopefully the future is bright. Ibon Marino has gone to PSG for £65 million. He's a player I signed from Athletic Bilbao a few seasons ago, had a few seasons out. Didn't really develop to be quite the player I wanted him to be. Got a profit on him though, £54 million. No caps for Spain as of yet. And that left wing position has been taken by Edu Gomez firmly. So in terms of the players that have joined us, the first one to join us was Manuel from Espanyol for £2.1 million. Just a young player with some potential. Hugo Barrachino has joined us from Zaragoza for £44 million. He is a new centre-back option at the club. Again, not amazing, has to be said, but we're in this situation. Only a 2.5-star player, only coming in as a squad player, but he's decent. Nura Ajibola has rejoined the club from Man City for £45 million. He's actually looking a bit better now, to be honest, and I decided to bring him back to the club. He only left the club for 1 season. He was on loan for 4 seasons, went to Man City £20.5 million, and I brought him back for £45 million. Javier Pasuelo has joined us from Bayer Leverkusen for £42.5 million. He is a new DM-style player, still young though. He's on loan at Dortmund for the season, 20 years of age. He's actually got 14 caps for Germany. But his other nationalities are Spanish. He started his career at Bayer Leverkusen, but he is here and now he's back on loan in Germany with Dortmund. We signed Aaron from Villarreal for £24 million, another young player. Jose Perillo has joined us from River Plate for £30 million. He is a new backup left back we have at the club. He's Argentinian as well, but he started his career off at Villarreal. We signed him from River Plate, I think it was actually. Yeah, we signed him for River Plate. He is Argentinian, but he started his career in Villarreal, so he is half Spanish. And we signed Jamie from Villarreal as well for £25 million. He is another young player, only 16 years of age, I believe. And the next 2 players to join us was Jose Manuel Padin from Atlanta for £9 million. He's another centre-back, but he's not very good at all. He's pretty terrible, actually, but again, needs much situation. He's gone on loan at Everton for the season. Hopefully he gets some development. He's Paraguayan, but his other nationalities are Spanish. Despite starting his career in Atlanta, he does qualify here for me in the video. And the last, and definitely not least, is Jesus Siles, a signing from PSG for £62 million. He is a new midfielder. He's got 7 caps and 3 goals for Spain already at 25 years of age. So in terms of the season preview, again, it's got us down in 3rd position below Villarreal and Barcelona. Got 3 players in the Media Dream 11 this season though, in Fresneda, Palau and Lassa. Still 5 players from Barcelona in there, only 2 from Villarreal though, so hopefully we've got a chance of finishing 2nd in the league again, which would be nice. Hopefully we can get 90 plus points again, even if we don't win the league title, hopefully we can get closer at least, because the last couple of seasons have been disappointing. So in terms of the starting 11, you may have noticed I haven't signed a goalkeeper, but I did sign Galvan a few seasons ago. He developed very nicely last season, and he is better than Arnaud Tenas, so we've strengthened that position without signing one pretty much. Signed him for 22.5 million from Huesca a couple of seasons ago. He was on loan at Derby and Bologna the last couple of seasons. He's actually our backup last season, didn't play a game, but now he's the number one. Of course, he's not amazing, but he's 24 years of age, which is very young for a goalkeeper still, so I'm hoping he might develop to a very good standard. We've also got a 17-year-old goalkeeper who's got very high potential in the under-19s who could be the future. The back four haven't changed at all though. We've got Fresneda, Brown, Samanzic and Santiago, so haven't really strengthened that position at all. Fresneda's very good though. Brown is decent, but there's two centre-backs, not really good. You look at the roll ability here, it just shows you really. 4 of our 5 defenders are 2.5-star players, and one's only a 4-star player, or one's a 4-star player, so definitely the problem area of the team. In the midfield, we've got Pasta and Palau, who are good players, with Lasser in there as well. And in the forward options, we've got Gavi on the right wing, not really where I'd play him, to be honest, but that is what the assistant thinks. Gomez on the left wing, and Sofroni up front. So the team isn't looking amazing, it has to be said. The forward line's looking quite good. Gavi as a right winger doesn't work for me. But the defence is looking not good enough at all. In my opinion, that is not a title-winning team yet still. But can they pull off a surprise in Season 12? Let's find out. Well, unfortunately, in Season 12, another disappointing season. The last 3 seasons haven't been very good at all, to be honest. There is hope for the team because the youth system, the B team and the under-19s are looking very, very full with high potential players. So hopefully the team can become very good in not too long. We shall see. But third in the league again with 84 points. So that's now 12 seasons. Well, 12 seasons in this FootballManager without a league title, which of course would get you sacked for Real Madrid a long time ago, but obviously for the sake of the video, I made myself unsackable. The Champions League got to the quarterfinal again, knocked out by Tottenham, unfortunately. Spanish Cup knocked down the quarterfinal by Villarreal, and the Spanish Super Cup knocked down the semi-final by Atletico Madrid. So 12 seasons played, still 2 trophies to talk of, both the Spanish Super Cup. Not very good. To put it into context, the Barcelona homegrown challenge I did, where obviously I just used the youth system at Barcelona, obviously a bit different. You have Yamal, you have Gavi there as well. Baldy as well, very high potential players. I actually won my first trophy, my first title in Season 5, I believe. So, isn't going quite to plan with Real Madrid here, but obviously it's different. Can't sign any players from Barcelona, Atletico or Valencia for the rivalry reasons. And clearly Real Madrid's youth intake is not as good as Barcelona's. Although it is very good, Barcelona's in a different league of itself, to be honest. So, can't really compare the two too much. Some very good average ratings to talk of again though, and Lasser again with the best performance of the season. He got 18 goals and 15 assists for a 7.42. Also Silas did very well, 14 goals and 7 assists. Edu Gomez, our young, well he's not young anymore, he's 27 years of age now. He got 14 goals and 19 assists for the season, very good player. He came for the youth system here. Fresneda might be his last season with the club, he's 30 years of age now. He had a good season as well. And top goal scorer Sofroni again, with only 20 goals though in 46 games, so not even 1 and 2, a little bit disappointing. But anyway, 12 seasons played, only 2 Spanish Super Cups to our name so far. It will get better though, we will win trophies, I can guarantee that. But will it happen in Season 13? Well, 12 seasons played now and only 2 trophies to talk of. Clearly it isn't going that well. This is definitely one of the hardest challenges I've ever done on FootballManager. But it's harder than it sounds, I promise you guys. As I said, we can't sign all the best Spanish players in the world because a lot of them play for Barcelona. You can imagine the players you know, such as Yamal and Pedri. But we've also got the regen players that have come through Barcelona. And there's a lot of them who we cannot access. Also Atletico players and Valencia. I do promise you though, we do start winning some trophies. I did not end this experiment without winning some trophies here at Barcelona, some big trophies as well. But in Season 13, I've signed 7 new players, but all of them are not in the first team. They're all young players, and 5 players have left the club. The first player to actually leave us was Gavi. Obviously, he was a Barcelona player, but we signed him from Bayern Munich. He has gone to Al Ittihad for £62 million, over the age of 30 now. And you know what the deal is. Only 1-year contract players over the age of 30. So Gavi has left the club as well to Al Ittihad. Also Eloy, who came for the youth system here, he's gone to Al Tawoun for £10 million. A decent player, but obviously we've got some better players than him in the position. The forward positions in terms of our current squad and the potential, we're not really lacking at all too much, to be honest with you. It's mainly the defence where we're still lacking big time. He came from the youth system, but he has gone to Al Tawoon. He was on loan the last 3 seasons. He was in the first team last season, but didn't get the game time, and he's not really good enough for us at the moment. Not 5 players are left us, 3 players are left us, sorry. And the last one to leave us, I'm devastated about this one. That is Fresneda. Definitely makes our team weaker in that right back position. He has joined Tottenham for £50 million. Again, he's 30 years of age now, in his last year of his contract, almost 31. But as you can see, he's still a world-class right back. One of the best right backs in the game, to be honest. Up there in the top 5 for sure. So it's devastating to lose him. He was our best player in the back 5. Our only very good player in the back 5. So devastating to lose him. He's gone to Tottenham for £50 million. But at least we got 9 or 10 great seasons out of him. So can't complain too much. I said we signed 7 new players and they're all young players, but I forgot to mention one player I signed in January last season. And actually a big signing as well. Borja, he joined us from Man City for £130 million. He's a new left back. Just because I mentioned Fresneda there reminded me of him, because Fresneda was our only class defender or goalkeeper in the squad. We've got a new one though, and he's a left back. His name is Borja. He's 23 years of age, about to turn 24. He's got 16 caps and 1 goal for Spain. Very, very good physically. Not as good as Fresneda, I'd say, in the other departments, but he's better than Fresneda physically. And it's not like he's bad in the other departments. He's very good still. But physically, he's absolutely outstanding. He actually started his career off at Valencia. That is why I could not sign him when he was younger. He went to Man City. But of course, once they leave their club, they're interested in joining us for some reason. Or a lot of them are anyway. Some of them still aren't though. Pedri and Yamal was never able to get them. They went to Liverpool, I think Pedri did, so did Yamal. And Liverpool are a better team than us, so they didn't want to join us. But anyway, Borja's joined us, £120 million, played 18 games last season, and he's a very good left back, so I'm happy with the signing of Borja. The other 7 players who joined us though were all young players for the future, so can't really mention too much about them right now. We signed Villa from Real Sociedad for £1.1 million. We signed 2 from Villarreal, Joaquin Gamez for £1.3 million and Lamine Sow for £33 million. We also signed Kareem Haddad from Murcia for just 25.5k. Saini Camara from Mallorca for £32 million and Juan from Almeria for £21.5 million. And we also signed Georges from Villarreal C for £22 million as well. So we do raid Villarreal quite a lot, has to be said, but they're probably the biggest team we can raid, to be honest, in Spain anyway. The most expensive of the 7 though was Lamine Sow from Villarreal for £33 million. He's only 18 years of age, about to turn 19. Definitely got some potential about him, that is for sure. Otherwise I wouldn't sign him. Potentially 3.5 stars. But as I keep saying, don't get an abundance of wonder kids to pick from. So you have to really basically try and sign as many Spanish wonder kids as I can to try and get them all here at the club, which I can sign. So is here for £33 million. Whether he'll turn out to be an amazing player or not, it's a different question. But hopefully, of the 7 players there, if half of them turn out to be class players, that'll do me. In terms of the season preview for this season, predicted for his second again, but it seems like the team are starting to get better. It seems like the tactic I made halfway through so far, in like season 6 I think it was, where actually just going for the younger players mainly, is starting to pay off a little bit. We've got 5 players in the Media Dream 11 here. I've actually got more players in the Dream 11 than any other club. We've got our 2 fullbacks. Well, Palau as a fullback, he's not our fullback though. And Borja. We've also got Siles in there, Edu Gomez, and Sofroni as well. Those 2 make me very happy because those 2 actually came through our own youth intake, so that is nice. And apparently those 2 players I just mentioned are the 2 best players in the league, Gomez and Sofroni. So I guess the pressure's on a little bit here in season 13. We should be challenging for the league title this season. Barcelona are still the favourites, but we're only in a close second place, so hopefully in season 13 we can do something in terms of trying to win the league title. Maybe we can win the Spanish Cup as well, we shall see. So in terms of the starting 11 for this season, we obviously lost Fresneda, but we did replace him very well with Borja. Obviously he's a left back, but Devontae Brown can play either right back or left back naturally, so Brown has effectively taken Fresneda's position. Definitely a downgrade, but not by that much, I'd say. Brown is still a very good player, so Borja left back and Brown right back. I feel like that's quite good, to be honest. The centre-backs is still a massive problem, of course. Samasic and Santiago. Neither of them can pass the ball very well. And we definitely could do with 2 better centre-backs than them, to be honest with you. As you can see, the full-backs are both rated 3.5 stars now. The two centre-backs are only 2.5-star apiece, so we know where the problems still lie with the team, and that is the centre-back. The goalkeeper as well, Galvan, he actually developed very nicely last season. He got his first cap for Spain as well, so he's looking like quite a decent goalkeeper all of a sudden. We could still sign maybe a better goalkeeper in the future. There's one out there who has some high potential. We've also got an 18-year-old in our youth system who's very good potential. But at the moment, Galvan's looking all right. Not too bad. Can't complain about him too much, but the centre-backs are still not looking very good at all. The midfield is looking quite good still. Siles, Palau and Lassa. These two make the media dream 11, so obviously very good. And the forward line, we've got Blas on the right wing, who came for our youth system, 25 years of age now. Not the best physically, but technically he's quite good, to be honest. Still was struggling a little bit at right wing since we lost Williams and Pino. But Blas has been in the first team the last couple of seasons, and now he's our starting right winger apparently. Got Gomez and Sofroni on the left wing and up front. Gomez is a 4.5-star player now. Very good player as a winger. He's left-footed. Physically, he's outstanding. Technically, he's very good as well. Not the best of finishers, but definitely very good at creating chances, that is for sure. 12 goals and 13 assists last season in the league. And Sofroni up front, our Moldovan, 78 caps and 28 goals for them. He's obviously gained Spanish nationality, coming through the youth system here. He's a very good striker as well. Not really a world-class striker, I'd say. But he probably makes the top 10 best strikers in the world. So, in that regard, he's quite good. Obviously, we could sign a better striker who's doing a normal Real Madrid save here. But a normal Real Madrid save isn't fun at all, is it really? Let's be honest. Who would start a career with Real Madrid with not some sort of challenge in there? Very boring people, to say the least. But anyway, season 13 definitely has some promise. We've got 5 players in the media dream 11, but still Barcelona are the favourites for the league. And our biggest problem, which is a big problem, it has to be said, is the centre-backs. We've still not got a better centre-back than a 2.5-star current ability. So that definitely is our biggest problem. Well, the barren spell continues, unfortunately. Season 13 started with a bit of promise in terms of our season preview. In terms of the league positions, though, it didn't start off with very much promise, did it? It was a terrible start to the season. Got a bit better, thankfully. But we finished third in the league with just 77 points. And Barcelona won the league again with just 82 points. Villarreal in second place as well, of course. But annoying the fact that we got over 90 points on 3 occasions, or 4 occasions maybe. Didn't win the league title. In a season where a team won 82 points, we clearly got, we obviously got 77 points and was nowhere near the league title. So, well, we're 5 points behind the top. But what I mean is, if we got over 90 points again, we won the league title with ease. So, disappointing the fact that we're not getting the high points tallies in the leagues where we could win the season. Very disappointing. Champions League as well, knocked down the quarter-final by Man United, and the Spanish Cup knocked down the semi-final by Real Sociedad. So 13 seasons played, still only 2 Spanish Super Cups to talk of. Some very good individual performances to talk of as well, though. And and one thing I forgot to mention is we signed a player in January. You may have remember me mentioning him, Jose Carlos. I sold him to Tottenham because I said he wasn't good enough to play for us. Well, he developed very nicely at Tottenham. I didn't think he had enough development left in him, to be honest. He was 24 years of age when I sold him. Weren't really good enough. But he's turned out to be a crazy player at Tottenham. When I sold him, he had 1 cap for Brazil, I think it was. Or no caps for Brazil. He's 24 years of age. Not good enough for us, but he developed to be a very, very good player for Tottenham. He's now got 15 caps and 7 goals for Brazil. Not the most in the world, has to be said. But it's safe to say that he's a late bloomer. When he was still here at the club, his potential ability was only 4 stars at the end. But now he's a 5-star player for us. I signed him for £193 million. Sold him for £44 million. But it probably was the wise decision, to be honest. Because if I kept him here at the club as a squad player, he never would have developed to be the player he is now. So although I sold him for £44 million and spent £193 million to bring him back to the club, definitely was worth it in my opinion. Did really well at Tottenham. He's come back here for us. He got 13 goals in just 17 games from January, so did really well with a 7.74 average rating. He is back here at the club. Our Brazilian Jose Carlos came for our youth intake. Initially wasn't good enough in my opinion, but I was wrong. He has come back for £193 million and he's arguably our best player at the club now. So it's strange how these things can work out. But yeah, in terms of the best player of the season, well, in terms of the full season, that goes to Edu Gomez on the left wing there. Unbelievable individual season from him. 16 goals and 30 assists in 45 games. As I said, he's not the best finisher in the world, but in terms of creating chances, he's up there with the best in the world, to be honest. 30 assists for him in just 45 games is crazy. And he also chipped in with 16 goals, which isn't too bad for a winger, is it? Jose Carlos obviously played half a season, but he got 18 goals and 7 assists in just 27 games. And Lassa got 18 goals and 16 assists as well. And Sofroni got 33 goals for the season in 47 games. But as I said, the forward line is not our problem. Our problem is the defence. And our two centre-backs, well, our two starting centre-backs got a 6.97 average rating and a 6.93 average rating. So that is the reason why, in my opinion, we are not winning more trophies at the moment. Because the forward line is looking good, very good. But the defence is looking very, very weak apart from the fullback. So that is the main problem at the club. I need to find a centre-back I can start at the club. Obviously, I'm trying to sign centre-backs, potential centre-backs, but none of them are ready as of yet. But the forward line did very good. Definitely some promise for the season. But 13 seasons played, still no major trophy to talk of. At the start of season 14, now I've signed 5 new players. None of them for the first team, though. And I've sold 4 players as well. One thing I should mention as well is I'm really struggling to buy players now who actually will fit into our squad of 25 players who are good enough. I've got to the point where I've pretty much signed all the players I can sign who are good enough to make our squad of 25. So that is why I'm not really signing too many starting players anymore. I know I signed Jose Carlos and Borja the last 2 Januaries, but other than that, I'm not really signing any older players. I'm merely just signing as many young players as I can with high potential that hopefully can just come through the youth intake and get into the starting 11. So the 5 players I've signed, not really too much to mention about those players at the moment, to be honest. All very young players. Manrique's joined us from Almeria. We've got Van Brabant from Villarreal, Abdesalam from Las Palmas, and Milado from Valladolid. All these players are part Spanish at least. I know some of the names don't suggest it, but that is the reason for the video, of course. And the last one is Suleiman Ndiaye as well, who joined us from Real Betis. But none of these players are in the first team. They're either in the B team or the under-19 team. The B team are playing in the second division, of course, so that's good for the development as well. Although they did get relegated to the third division on a couple of occasions. But the B team, good for the development of the players, but also loan a lot of players out as well. Loads of loans to talk of. As you can see here, so many players left us on loan. It's ridiculous. That is how big the B squad is and the under-19 squad. Let's have a quick look at the B squad here. I haven't really showed you the B squad too much. If you look in the B squad here, got many players out on loan, a few 4.5-star players there, lots of other players, some that will never be good enough, of course, some that will be good enough, we shall see. In the under-19s as well, we've got a few players in there as well, potentially 5 stars. Got Brian Blanco there, he's a 4-star player now, out on loan still though, but he developed very nicely. We've also got a centre-back there, as you can see, 15-year-old though, Ballesteros, potentially 5 stars, but currently a 1-star player, so definitely struggling in that regard. So in terms of the players that have left us, the first player to leave us was Hugo Barachina. He's joined Al Riyadh for £17.5 million. Didn't really get the game time here, but he's only a 4th choice centre back anyway, so not really too sad to see him leave. Loads of loans, as you can see. It's about 30 players gone out on loan. It's ridiculous, but that is what I'm left with at the moment. I'm trying to sign as many young players as I can. Just trying to work out this challenge in that way. Just trying to build the players up from youngsters, basically. Padin has joined Al Wida for £14.25 million. Another centre-back, but again, not really good enough for us. Jesus Puello has joined Al Qadsia for £7.25 million. Signed him with a lot of promise. Didn't really work out for him, though, unfortunately. And Jonathan Moreno, who came for our youth system, he has gone to Al Shabab for £10.5 million. He's got 1 cap for Spain. He's quite good. He's quite a good player, but as I said before, the forward line is not what we're lacking, and some players unfortunately will have to miss out, and Moreno is one of them. He came for our youth intake. He's been in the first team the last 2 seasons, but only as a fringe player. So at the start of season 14, again, we're predicted to finish 2nd in the league. We're yet to be predicted to finish 1st in the league, so at least that's good with the fact that we're yet to win a league title. We're not expected to win a league title yet, so I guess that's good in that regard, but hopefully the league title will come very soon. It's the 14th season now. In terms of players in the Media Dream 11, we've got 3 this time round in Borja, Jose Carlos and Lassa. Jose Carlos, though, is apparently the best player in the league, and Edu Gomez is apparently the 3rd best player in the league. So still got some promise with the team. We're still severely lacking in the centre-back department, it has to be said. I'm still yet to strengthen that position, to be honest, over the years. As you can see, you still got Samadzic and Santiago there. Galvan's our goalkeeper still, but he's developed to be a good standard at least. The fullbacks are good though in Brown and Borja. In midfield, we've got Jose Carlos, the attacking midfielder on attack now, changed it up a little bit. And Palau and Siles, it's very good actually, to be honest. One of the best midfielders in the league, I'd say. We've got Blas on the right wing, Gomez on the left wing, and Sofroni up front. Blas, not really the best right winger in the club, I'd say. I'd rather play Lasser on right wing, to be honest. He's a better player than Blas for sure. But the assistant seems to love Blas very much, which is very surprising to me. So that is one position that we're probably lacking a little bit in the forward line, is a right winger. But other than that, the team's looking very good. Apart from those pesky centre-backs, where I can't find a better one to sign at all. There's actually a good centre-back who plays for Valencia called Alborz, a very good centre-back actually. We can't sign him, obviously. And there's also a very good centre-back playing for Barcelona as well. But those two players are out of our reach, unfortunately. And until one of them leaves the club, or we sign a better centre-back, or one of our centre-backs develops to be a great standard, we are stuck with Santiago and Samazic. So the forwards are looking very good. Defence, not so good. What will season 14 bring? Can we win our third trophy? Let's find out. Well, unfortunately, in season 14, again, very disappointing in the league. Third in the league, this time below Barcelona and Atletico Madrid. Quite far below them as well. 80 points. Gone are the days when we're getting 92 points in the season. Still can't win the league title, of course, but at least we gave it a good go. 80 points is very underwhelming. Knocked down the quarterfinal by Chelsea in the Champions League. The good news is, though, we have won a major trophy finally in season 14. We won the Spanish Cup. Thank goodness for that. It's our fourth time being in the final. And finally, we won our third trophy. 2 Spanish Super Cups and 1 Spanish Cup. Is this the start? Will we start winning more trophies now? We shall see. Spanish Super Cup knocked down the semi-final by Villarreal. But thankfully, we won a trophy this season in the Spanish Cup. Our first Spanish Cup to talk of. Still yet to win the league title, but that will come eventually, I promise you. In terms of the best player of the season, that goes to Dominic Palau. Great season from him. 14 goals and 7 assists. Also, Lassa only started 27 games in the season. Played 52, but he got 23 goals and 7 assists. Edu Gomez, not as good as last season. Quite far off his standard from last season, to be fair. 9 goals and 16 assists is still good, but he got 30 assists and 16 goals last season. Jose Carlos with 26 goals and 7 assists, though. Boya did very well as well, 4 goals and 12 assists. And Sofroni only with 14 goals and 7 assists. So I'm bigging up the forward players quite a lot, but a little bit underwhelming, some of them this season. Edu Gomez only with 9 goals and 16 assists, underwhelming. Sofroni, another one striker, only with 14 goals, bit underwhelming as well. Jose Carlos, though, got 26 goals, and Lassa got 23 goals. So 14 seasons played, only 3 trophies to talk of, but we did win our first major trophy this season in the Spanish Cup. What will season 15 bring? Well, at the start of season 15 here, I've signed 4 new players. 2 of them for the first team, though, this time round. 2 of them are young players, and only 2 players have left us as well. Let's get to the players that left us first of all. And of course, as usual, an absolute ton of players have left us out on loan as well. Escobar has joined Al Khalij for £11.75 million. Didn't really work out for him, to be honest. Not the greatest of player. And also Ajabola, a player I sold, brought back again, and then sold again. He has gone to Napoli for £12.75 million. He's a decent player. It's very unfortunate he's got no caps for Spain, to be honest. I was expecting to get a couple of caps at least. He's very good physically. The problem he's got, though, is he's got Edu Gomez. Both these players came through my youth intake, both left wingers. But Edu Gomez has flourished, where Ajabola is a little bit below his standard. Not far below his standard, but Edu Gomez is clearly a better player. So he didn't get the game time in that regard. Sold into, he's out on loan for many 5 seasons in a row, as you can see there. He finally joined Man City. We brought him back a year later, but he didn't get the game time. Below Edu Gomez in the team. He's gone to Napoli now for £12.75 million. So didn't really work out for him so well, but he was a decent player. As you can see, a ton more loans to talk of. Just a ridiculous amount of loan. That's the busiest part I have in the transfer window. Finding the right loans for all my players. It's not just purely about, you can go to anyone, I've got to pick the right club in the right league with the right facilities to try and get these players as much development as possible so they turn out to be world-class players in the future. In terms of the 4 signings that have joined me, though, 2 of them are for the first team, 2 of them are young players. The first one I signed is a new goalkeeper. His name is David Farias. He joined us from Everton for £84 million. He's a player that's actually been on my radar for a long time now. But believe it or not, up until about 2 seasons ago, he wasn't really good enough. But he's definitely been a late bloomer in terms of his development. He always had high potential. Didn't really fulfill it that well, but now he has. And he's a very good goalkeeper. Again, not the best goalkeeper in the game, but he'll probably make the top 10, and he's a slight upgrade on Galvan as well. He actually started his career in France and played many seasons in France. He started his career off in FC Lorient, went to Rennes, but he went to Everton for £70 million. These last 2 seasons here for Rennes and Everton is where he really developed very nicely, and now signed him for £84 million. He's 29 years of age though, so obviously I won't get too many great seasons out of him, but if we get 3 or 4 out of him, that'd be great. And also I've got a very high potential one-ticket goalkeeper in the under-19s that hopefully, when Farias leaves, he'll be good enough to take his spot. We shall see. The next 2 players to join us were both young players. Again, their name doesn't really suggest it, but they've both got Spanish nationality. That is Jan Kometek. He's actually Slovenian, but he came from the Zaragoza youth intake. Signed him for £16 million. Still very young though, only 16 years of age. And Aliou Diallo has joined us from Cadiz for £25 million as well. Cadiz, by the way, are one of the better teams in the league now. They've finished 5th and 6th for the last 2 seasons. They've also finished as high as 4th before as well. So Cadiz are a team to definitely watch out for. They are one of the big boys nowadays. And the last one I signed is a new right back. Is Jose Antonio Angulo. He's been signed from Real Sociedad for £60 million. Definitely expensive for a backup right back, but he's got 20 anticipation, which is very nice. He anticipates absolutely everything, Angulo. A very good player, but £60 million is definitely expensive. But he can play right back or DM, so that is good. In terms of the season preview for this season as well, particularly a second again, of course we are. But it's very close between the odds for us and Barcelona. So could this be the season we finally lift the league title? We shall see. In terms of the Media Dream 11 as well, we've got 4 players in there. We've got Borja, Palau, Gomez and George. If you wondered who George is, well, he's a player actually signed many years ago. He's a very good player, as you can see here. Very, very good player. He developed very nicely last season. He's been out on loan a ridiculous amount of times now. He's got no caps for Spain, but he's now a 4.5-star player. That's something I do as well. I don't bring the players into the first team who have high potential until they're ready to start in the first team. So you get players like George and Blanco, for example, who are in the first team now, both 4-star and 4.5-star players. But I could have them up to the first team 2 or 3 years prior, but that could have really affected their development, seeing as I'm not selecting the team. So I leave them out on loan as long as possible to get them into development till where they're at their pretty much maxed out state, which George is here, an outstanding player. He did really well on loan last season. He was on loan at FC Colton last season, did really well there, but he's been on loan at Valencia, Brighton, Strasbourg, Elche for a couple of seasons as well. I signed him for £49.5 million from Brighton, who he came for their youth intake there, but he is Spanish. He's been out on loan 6 times, and now he's ready to start in the first team, and he's arguably our best player now, so watch the space for George. Watch this space for George. Also, those defenders I'm talking about, Alborz is that one from Valencia I've been wanting to sign for so many years now, but I can't because he plays for Valencia and they hate us. He's 5'10", but as a defender he's very, very good and definitely be a massive upgrade for us, but unfortunately he's just out of my reach because he plays for Valencia. He's been a wanted man now for a long time as well. I'm actually praying for him to be signed by another club, that we might actually be able to sign him in the future. And look at that, he's wanted by FC Nantes, Milan and Al Nassr. If he goes to one of these teams, well, not Al Nassr, he goes to one of the other 2 teams, we might actually be able to sign him a year later, but unfortunately he never leaves Valencia, so we can never sign him. And the other one plays for Barcelona, his name is Hanna Lopez, but he is Chilean anyway, so I can't sign him. He came through Colo Colo's youth intake, so he doesn't qualify for my rules in the video here. But Alborz is definitely a centre-back I want to sign, but until he leaves Valencia, it's impossible. So in terms of the starting 11 for this season, the assistant's opinion of the best starting 11, we've actually got 2 new players in the starting 11. Well, 3 new players, sorry. Only one of them is a new signing. The other 2 are 2 young players who came for our intake. Well, didn't come for our intake. I signed them both. They've been out on loan. That is George, who I just mentioned, of course. He's one of our best players now. Unbelievable player, but he wasn't really good enough a couple of seasons ago to start. Now he definitely is. And the other one is Blanco as well, who actually signed when he was 16 years of age from Strasbourg for £31 million. He spent a few seasons in our B squad and under-19 squad. He went actually on loan to Strasbourg for 2 seasons. Did really well there. Last season went on loan to Dortmund, and now he's ready to start in the first team. He's now a 3.5-star player. A very, very good player. 19 vision is very nice, and he's overall just outstanding. He can play in the midfield, up front, or on the left-hand side as well. As I said, I could have brought these players back earlier to be squad players, but I don't want it to affect their development. I want to give them as much development as possible, so when they are in the first team, they're at their best. Obviously, Farias is a new goalkeeper as well, so definitely upgraded the goalkeeper position. Farias is definitely better than Galvan, not by a massive margin, but he's definitely better. The fullbacks are still looking good in Brown and Borja. Centre-backs are still the same, still worrisome. Samajic and Santiago. Samajic's done quite well in the last couple of seasons though. Not a ball-playing defender though, but he's definitely alright. He's a 3-star player now, so he's alright. But Santiago is definitely more of a DM, it has to be said. The midfield is looking very good though. As you can see, I've changed things up for this season. I'm not really happy with how things are going. I've changed up to a 4-3-3 now. I probably should have changed a lot sooner than this, but I have changed finally in season 15. We've got a DM on support there in Siles. Got a Carolero on support in Palau. And a centre midfielder on attack in Blanco. Whether it'll work or not is a different question, but I had to try something different now. We've got George as an inside forward in attack, Gomez on the left wing as a winger in attack, and Carlos up front as an advanced forward. The front three is looking unbelievable. The midfield three is looking unbelievable as well. The fullbacks are great. The goalkeeper is great. It's just the centre-backs where we are lacking. If we had two great centre-backs here, the team could be almost complete, to be honest with you, but obviously we are really lacking in that department. Got a couple of other players here worth mentioning as well in terms of being called up to the first team. That is Gorka Sola, who's now 24 years of age, 11 caps for Spain. As you can see, he is very, very good. He's been on loan for a fair number of seasons now. He was on loan at Chelsea for half a season last season. I called him back though, and now he's a regular starter for us, hopefully. I signed him from Sociedad way back in 2030 for £10.75 million. Jose Duque signed him for £32 million from Sevilla. Back when he was like 16, he's been in the first team for many years now, but as you can see, didn't quite fulfill his potential, to be honest. He's very good attacking wise and mentally, but physically lets him down. 28 years of age now. And we've also got Javier Alegre in here as well as a centre-back, but unfortunately for us, he pretty much maxed out his potential, and he's not amazing. So yeah, still lacking in centre-back department. He came actually through our youth system. But anyway, season 15 now. We won our first major silverware last season in the Spanish Cup. Can we back it up this season by winning another one? Let's find out. Well, 15 seasons played, and unfortunately, we're still yet to win a league title. Very disappointing this season. We finished 4th in the league with 77 points again. We actually lost 3 of our last 5 games. But if we won those 3 games, we could have won the league title. So that's very underwhelming. Just qualified for the Champions League for next season. But talking of the Champions League, we won the Champions League in season 15. We won the Champions League before we won the league title, which is very bizarre. We beat Bayern Munich in the final on penalties. So that's our second major trophy, and both coming back-to-back seasons as well. So the trophies are starting to come now. They're starting to come now. Still yet to win the league title, but won a Spanish Cup, and now we've won the pinnacle, the Champions League in season 15. Got knocked out in the 4th round in the Spanish Cup by Eibar, so didn't do very well and defend our crown there. And knocked down the semi-final by Atletico Madrid in the Spanish Super Cup. We now won 4 trophies in 15 seasons though. Obviously not a great tally, not by any stretch, but we won 1 Champions League and 1 Spanish Cup in the last 2 seasons. So it looks like the trophies are now starting to come. And of course, it's very nice the fact that we've won the big one. Could be our only Champions League win in the whole video. Might get another one, we shall see. But at least we've won a Champions League. Now we need to win the league title. In terms of best player of the season, that goes to Palau. Again, he's been a brilliant signing for me. Absolutely brilliant. 8 goals and 8 assists for him with a 7.43. He's so consistent. He's absolutely ridiculous. Also, George, who I called up to the first team for the first time this season. He did really well. He got 31 goals and 6 assists, playing on the right wing in just 34 starts. Devontae Brown got 16 assists as well, did really well. Edu Gomez, 13 goals, 15 assists, another good season for him. Not quite the 30 assists and 16 goals he saw for him. That was his pinnacle, but still good. Gorka Sola as well, 10 goals, 12 assists for him. Nicolas Safroni, 24 goals and 10 assists. That's how long we've been playing now. He's now 30 years of age, and he came for our youth intake. So now the regens are now hitting the 30-year mark, which is worrying. Devontae Brown and Safroni, Gomez are all 30 years of age, as is Jose Carlos. And we know what happens when they reach 30 years of age. Time for them to leave, unfortunately for us. Borja had a good season as well, with 1 goal and 8 assists for a 7.08, and as did Blanco with 8 goals and 11 assists. So 15 seasons played, still yet to win a league title, but we have won a Spanish Cup last season, and now this season we've won the big one. We have won the Champions League. Well, at the start of season 16 here, I've signed 4 new players, all youngsters though. None of them are in the first team. As I said before, I'm really struggling to find players to come into the first team now, in terms of bringing them in at an age older than 21 basically. So yeah, really struggling in that regard, but I signed 4 new potential players, the most expensive one being Roger Parra from Man City for £19.5 million. Also signed Paco, Alvaro and Javier Gomez, but none of these players are in the first team. They're all in the B team, all the under-19 team. In terms of players that have left us, well, Alexis has joined Strasbourg on a free transfer. He came through the youth intake, but he was no more than a fringe player, has to be said. Been here for many years, been out on loan many times, but unfortunately he's one of those players who couldn't develop to the required potential, unfortunately. Also, Iriarty has joined Damak for £10.5 million. Inigo Villar has joined Al Fasali for £16.75 million, rising to £20.5 million. Lisandro Galvan has joined Chelsea for £38 million. He's dropped down to number 2 goalkeeper now, behind Farias. He's still a good goalkeeper, but obviously he wants to be a number 1, so he's gone to Chelsea. And Blas has joined AC Milan for £43 million. I decided to sell Blas because I don't rate him as high as the assistant does, and he's taken away minutes from very important players. So I have sold him to AC Milan. He's done all right for us, but clearly he's not a world-class player, and I need to get him out of the club. So that is all the sales and signings to talk of. Obviously, again, just a ridiculous amount of loans to talk of. Can't mention any of them, to be honest. We'd be here all day. So in terms of the season preview, this is the first season where we're actually predicted to finish top of the league. So definitely the pressure is on now. No other season we predicted to finish top, but this season we are. Only just, by the way, 13-8 to Barcelona 5-2. We may be predicted to win the league title this season, but our chances don't look as good as the media suggests. Villarreal look like the best team according to the Dream 11. In terms of the starting 11, well, it hasn't really changed at all since last season. The only thing that's changed is Sola is apparently good enough to be our number 1 starter for us now, along with Blanco and Palau. The team is looking very good, apart from this section here. The 2 centre-backs are still the same, Samadžić and Santiago. I still can't change that. The full-backs are still looking quite good in Brown and Boya. The good news is as well, all those 30-year-olds I mentioned at the end of last season, they're still here at the moment because I decided to extend their contracts before they turn 30, to get them on longer contracts. They're still here at the moment, but for how much longer I have no idea. They're all on 1-year contracts, so we'll see what happens at the end of the season. In terms of players to mention have been called up to the first team, well, there's a couple to mention here, to be honest. One of them is Satrastegui. You may have remembered me mentioning signing him. He's now 24 years of age. He's developed to be a great standard. He can only play one position though, which is a bit annoying as a striker, but he's a very good player. Been out on loan. He's out on loan at Lyon last season, not before that, Lyon again, and Stuttgart. Signed him for £62 million. Now he's in the first team. I feel like he's good enough now to be a regular starter for us. And another one who's in the first team is probably been my best signing so far in the entire video, and that is Joaquin Gamez. He's 19 years of age. He's already got 2 caps for Spain. He can play right back or centre back, which is great. Could he be a starting centre back for us in the future? Could he start this season? We shall see. He's very good mentally. Still needs to develop physically, but his potential is very, very high. And I only signed him for £1.3 million from Villarreal. He's been in the B team and the under-19 team. Went on loan to Albacete last season. I actually wanted to loan him out again this season. Obviously, I like to bring the players in later than usual. But unfortunately for us, he wasn't interested in going out on loan again this season. So he's in the first team in that regard. Ideally, I'd like him out on loan again for 1 more season, maybe 2. But he is not. So hopefully the assistant uses him. But he is arguably our biggest potential at the club. And the great news is he can play centre-back. Not the best in the air, only 8 heading, which is very weak. But he is 6'4", and he's got 16 jumping reach. So watch this space. We might have a new centre-back on our hands in Joaquin Gamez. So the last 2 seasons, we won the Spanish Cup and the Champions League. Now won 4 trophies in 15 seasons. What will season 16 bring? Well, last season we won the Champions League. The season before that we won the Spanish Cup. The trophies are officially coming in now because in season 16, finally, we won the league title. Finally, we won our first league title with 90 points. Look at the state of this as well. We did not start off the season very well at all. Not very well at all. But the final stages of the season, we really came good. We won it 6 points clear at the end of Atletico Madrid. Look at the state of Barcelona, 6th in the league as well. So finally, we won a league title. We won 3 trophies in the last 3 seasons now as well. Spanish Cup, the Champions League, and now the league title. So that is very good. We have also won our 6th trophy, and that is the UEFA Super Cup. We won that at the start of the season as well, which is great. The Champions League, we did a pretty decent defence, has to be said. We got knocked down in the semi-final though by Liverpool, unfortunately, and knocked down the semi-final of the Spanish Cup by Villarreal as well. But the main talking point, of course, is we won the league title, our first one in 16 seasons. We won it 6 points clear of Atletico Madrid, whilst only signing Spanish players. So that is good. That is very good. But it would have been nice to win it a little bit earlier. A little bit earlier, we could have won a league title. We could have won it in our first season. It was only 1 point behind in our first season, but since they went to pot, we got over 90 points on many occasions. We actually finished higher points tally than this on 4 or 5 occasions, but weren't able to win the league title. This time round, though, we got the luck and we won the league title, so that is great. In terms of the best player of the season, well, that goes to Dominic Palau again, who's been an unbelievable player for us. 9 goals and 8 assists with a 7.43 average rating. Unfortunately, he's 30 years of age now, though, so he may leave the club end of the season, unfortunately. Brian Blanco did really well with 17 goals and 14 assists. Edu Gomez again with 12 goals, 15 assists, but could be his last season as well, 31 years of age. Sasha Stegui only started 16 games, played 42 in total. He got 23 goals and 2 assists. He isn't happy and he wants to leave, but he is not leaving at all. He's got 2 years left on his contract, so hopefully the assistant starts him all next season because he's a very good player and a player I want to keep around. George again with a great season with 18 goals and 11 assists. Not quite as good as last season, but he is playing on the right wing. Sofroni with 17 goals and 8 assists. Again, he did really well. Brown, Lassa and Jose Carlos did really well as well. But the problem we have now is most of my better players are over the age of 30. As you can see, we've actually got 11 players who are 30 or over now. And 10 of them are regular starters. So that is a big problem now we have at the club. So we'll see what happens in season 17. The last 3 seasons have been the best. We won 3 trophies, Spanish Cup, Champions League, and now the league title. And the UEFA Super Cup, of course. What will season 17 bring, though, and how many players will leave us? So, at the start of season 17, I have sold 3 players and 5 new players have joined us. All of them young players. As you can see, my t-shirt has changed. That is because I'm back here filming the next day. 3 players have left us and 1 club legend has left us as well. And I'm absolutely devastated about this guy leaving us. Edu Gomez, a player who came through my youth intake, has gone to Al Ittihad for £56 million. He's 31 years of age now. He got 58 caps and 9 goals in Spain in the end, well, at the moment. But still, as you can see looking at him, he is still a world-class player. Physically, he's still absolutely unbelievable despite being 31 years of age. Of course, the decline will start soon. His natural fitness is only 13, so it will start probably in this season, to be honest. But still, 1 or 2 more seasons at least he's got to play at the highest level. But unfortunately, we know the rules here. Over the age of 30, only a 1-year contract. He was interested in joining Al Ittihad, so I decided to cash in on him whilst I still can. He's got there for £56 million. What a servant he has been to the club, though. He actually came through my first youth intake, along with Devontae Brown and Sofroni as well. So that was definitely a good youth intake, the first one. He was also a regular starter for the club for 8 seasons, and his best season coming in 2036. His best season came in 2036 when he got 16 goals and 30 assists in all competitions in that season. So I'm very sad to see him leave. He definitely makes us a weaker team, that is for sure. But at least we had 8 great seasons out of him, and he's definitely going to go down as a legend for this video. Probably the biggest legend of the video, to be honest, Edu Gomez. But unfortunately, he's left us, gone to Al Ittihad for £56 million. The next player to leave us was Jose Duque. He has gone to Marseille for £7.5 million. He was a player who's been here a long time, as you can see there, but he's been a fringe player pretty much the entire time, out on many loans as well. He did have ridiculously high potential, but unfortunately, he couldn't quite fulfill it. He didn't develop enough physically to be a world-class player. He's also 30 now and uncapped by Spain, so I decided to cash on him whilst I still can. And the third player to leave us on a permanent sale was Juan Luis Santiago, one of our centre-backs. He has gone to Al Hilal for £39 million. He is also 31 years of age. Not quite on the same level as Gomez, but still was a good player for us. Still had some decent seasons in there. Of course, we could have done with a better centre-back than Santiago, but he still served the club well in his 7 seasons. Other than that, the rest of the players who have left us out on loan, of course. So in terms of the 5 players that have signed, all of them young players, as I said, none of them are in the first team. Got Angel Rivera signing for 700k. I signed Adrian Pastor from Villarreal for £18.5 million. I've signed Tim Anfang from Huesca for £8.5 million. And I've also signed Randy Scott Rastelli from Elche for £2.2 million as well. The most expensive of the 5, though, was Jordi Serna. He has joined us from Sevilla for £33 million. He is a new potential centre-back. Of course, that is a position that I've really been lacking in pretty much the entirety of the video here. Since Pau Torres, really. Pau Torres is probably our last great centre-back, and that was a long time ago now. Jordi Serna, though, he has a 5-star potential ability, and if you look at him here, you can see how the potential is very, very high for Serna. Hopefully, he can fulfill that. So of course, last season we won the league title for the first time in season 16. Before that as well, we won the Champions League and the Spanish Cup the season before that as well. So we now won a trophy in each of the last 3 seasons. And this season the pressure is on a little bit to defend our crown, seeing as we are the favourites to win the league title with odds of 5-4 there. In terms of the Media Dream 11, we have 5 players in the Dream 11 for this season. We've got Boya, Sola, Palau, George and Satrastegui. I can never pronounce his name properly. Those are the 5 players in the Dream 11. And George is apparently the best player in the league. And Satrastegui is the 3rd best player in the league. So looking at the Media Dream 11 here, it looks like we should really be defending our crown. But it's easier said than done though, because of course we've got Barcelona, Villarreal and Atletico Madrid, who are all big players in the league and big title contenders. So in terms of the starting 11 for this season, the assistants picked for the starting 11, well, obviously Edu Gomez and Santiago have both left the club. I haven't signed any players to replace them. I've only promoted players to the first team to replace them. To replace Santiago is Joaquin Gamez, one of our highest rated potential youngsters, probably the highest rated of the lot to be honest. And you could argue the case that he's better than Santiago already. 20 years of age, he had lots of game time last season. Played 24 games in total, and yeah, he's really starting to develop quite a lot, to be honest. Mentally, he's absolutely unbelievable, to be honest. Really great mentally. Physically, he's very good as well and keeps getting better. Technically, he's decent as well. Overall, he's a very good player. Naturally, he is a right back, but if you look at his attributes for a ball-playing defender, he can definitely do that role, that is for sure. His heading isn't the best, of course, only 9 heading, but he has got 16 jumping reach and he's 6'4", so that helps in that regard, but it would be nice to have better heading. Also, his passing and composure is not the best, but looking at some of the other attributes, it's a lot better than some of the players we've had in the past. 14 first touch, 15 technique as well, so he is an unbelievable player. Naturally a right back, but hopefully the assistant will use him as a centre back. He's also got 7 caps for Spain already at the ripe old age of 20. And he keeps getting better as well, so it's quite scary how good he can become, Gamez. He's one of our brightest prospects at the club, to be honest. And the other one to replace Edu Gomez, well, Jose Carlos has been mainly playing up front. He should be playing mainly as a left winger this season, as an inside forward on attack. So not much of a downgrade in that position, although Jose Carlos is 31 years of age now as well. They both came through the same youth intake. So Jose Carlos came through our first youth intake as well. So the class of 24 was pretty good, has to be said. And in taking Gomez's place will be Satrastegui, who will be playing up front this season, hopefully, most of the time. He has developed very nicely over the last couple of seasons. Was in the first team last season, only started 10 games, but had great loans out at Lyon and Nantes in the past. He's also got 29 caps and 11 goals for Spain, got 18 composure, he's got great physical attributes as well, so he looks like he's ready to be our leading striker. Hopefully, he'll bang the goals in for fun for us in this season. So last season, in season 16, we won the league title for the first time. Can we defend our crown in season 17? Unfortunately, we could not defend our crown in season 17. It was very tight and we were top 4 most of the season, to be honest. But we ended up finishing in 2nd place behind fierce rivals Atletico Madrid, despite having a plus 83 goal difference and only losing 3 games throughout the season. Unfortunately, those 2 draws in the last 5 games did cost us the league title, unfortunately. We also got knocked out of the Champions League by Tottenham in the quarter-final, which is kind of disappointing. We did, however, though, win 2 trophies for the first time in a season this time around. We won the Spanish Cup and we won the Spanish Super Cup as well. So that's now 4 seasons in a row where we've won a piece of silverware. That's now 5 trophies in 4 seasons. So it's going quite well in terms of the trophy haul. Of course, it would have been nice to defend our crown in the league, but winning the Spanish Cup and the Spanish Super Cup certainly makes up for that a little bit. So I'm fairly satisfied with season 17. Well, in terms of best player of the season, that has to go to George again. What an unbelievable player he's been. What an unbelievable signing. 33 goals and 16 assists for him this season in 53 games. Not his best goal scoring record, but 49 goal contributions in 53 games is absolutely unbelievable. Also, Brian Blanco with a great season. 22 goals and 11 assists for him. Dominic Palau, well, I call him Mr. Consistent, to be honest. He's been an unbelievably consistent player for us. He got 8 goals and 10 assists. Boya as well with 2 goals and 13 assists as well. Jesus Siles had a good season. Jose Carlos with 13 goals and 18 assists. And Nikolai Sofroni, despite being 32 years of age now, he's still banging in the goals for fun. 27 goals and 7 assists for him this season as well. So season 17, a little bit disappointing, seeing as we couldn't defend our crown in La Liga, but we made up for it by winning the Spanish Cup and the Spanish Super Cup, our first double of the entire video. What will season 18 bring? Well, in season 18, I've been relatively busy in terms of sales and buys as well. 8 new signings to talk of, and 8 players have left us, including 3 club legends have left the club. So the team really has it's probably reached its next phase in terms of the video now. Hopefully its last phase as well. But 3 new legends have left us. Edu Gomez left us last season. And obviously the players are getting older now. The players that class of 24 I was talking about is pretty much all gone now, to be honest. Devontae Brown was the first to leave us. He joined Al Nassr on a free transfer, unfortunately. He's 32 years of age now. He's been here since the start. He was in the first youth intake. Had 3 loans out to other Spanish teams, but other than that, he's been a mainstay in the team. So he's been a club legend, it has to be said. Also, Dominic Palau, absolutely gutted about this one. Brown leaving, not as gutted, but Palau was an unbelievable player for us, so consistent in that midfield for us, and it's going to be hard to replace him. He's joined Al Ittihad on a free transfer. He's 31 years of age as well, but clearly he is still ready for first team football at this level. He's been unbelievable, especially the last 4 seasons, with his lowest average rating being last season at 7.38. So I'm gutted to see Palau leave, especially on a free transfer, of course. Also, Samadzic, who was, I did moan about Samadzic quite a lot, but he actually was quite consistent for us. Of course, as I said before, it would have been nice to have a better centre-back than him, but he did a job for us. He did his best, and he definitely was a good player. He's joined Al Ittihad for £30 million. He also was quite a legend, it has to be said. He spent 9 years at the club, Samadzic, and 7 of them as a regular starter, so he definitely did do quite well, especially the last 2 seasons, as you see here. He actually got better throughout his time here at the club, so a little bit sad to see him leave as well. Also, Sofroni, the other one from the class of 24, he has joined Al Hilal for £29 million. Definitely a massive club legend and a Moldovan legend as well. Got 103 caps for them in the end. He's definitely on the decline a little bit, and not so sad to see him leave, since we've got Sacha Stegui as our new striker, who's arguably better than Sofroni now at this age. So not too sad to see him leave, but he was a great servant for us over the years. He got in at least double digits every single season in the league for goals, so it shows you how consistent he was. Even though he wasn't quite prolific in too many seasons, he always got at least 10 goals in every single league campaign. So we cannot moan at all about Sofroni, a great legend of the club. He has left us as well, so as I said, many legends have left the club, unfortunately. Also, the final player from the class of 24 has also left the club. That is Jose Carlos. He has joined Al Ali for £65 million. So, all these players are all about 32 years of age, but they're all massive key players for us as well. So, we're going to do well to do anything in season 18, to be honest with you. Jose Carlos was a brilliant player. Of course, great story for him. He come through the youth intake. I deemed him not good enough. Sold him to Tottenham, only to bring him back 3.5 years later for a whopping £193 million. And then been an absolutely unbelievable player for us. So, again, sad to see Jose Carlos leave the club. Another player is joining him at Al Ali as well. That is Jesus Siles. He's gone there for £48 million. Not quite as much of a legend as the other players, but definitely a very good player. And he's had 6 good seasons at the team. I'd say he's more of an icon, Siles. And last season he was brilliant with a 7.28 average rating. So, as you can see there, 6 key players or regular starters have left the club. And all of them have gone to Saudi Arabia. So, yeah, a little bit of an overhaul this season in not a good way, I'd say. A couple of these players will be replaced with some of the younger players, but some of them are a little bit irreplaceable, such as Palau and such as Jose Carlos as well. One more sale to talk of as well, definitely not a club legend, that is John Gomez. He has gone to Newcastle for £12.25 million. So, in terms of the players that have joined us, 8 new signings to talk of, and they're definitely not all young players. Matthias Torres is the first player to join us from RB Leipzig for £105 million. He is a new centre-back. He's actually Argentinian. He started his career at River Plate, and he's of nationality Spanish. Never played in the nation before, so clearly he is part Spanish from birth. So it's good to bring him in. Not the greatest of centre-backs, but he is much more a ball-playing defender than Santiago and Samasic was, and that is always what I'm looking for, to be honest. He's got good positioning, good tackling as well. He's got decent jump and reach, not the quickest, also not the best mentally either, but overall he's quite a decent player. Defensively he's very good, and he's also got decent physical attributes as well, so definitely a benefit to sign him. Only 26 years of age as well, so hopefully he's got plenty of years left at the club. Next player to join us was Sergio Royo, who joined us on a free transfer from Burgos, only a youngster. Same with Vidal Haro. He joined us from Betis for £2.4 million. And even Ibanez, he's actually Dutch, and he started his career at FC Utrecht, but he's half Spanish. He joined us for £12.5 million. I've already signed 2 players who I've sold in the past and brought them back to the club, and I've done it again for the 3rd time. I have signed Bilal El Amrani from Bayern Munich for £145 million. So I spent a lot of money on him as well. A little bit of a confusing one, this one, because I've signed El Amrani to be a new midfielder to effectively replace Palau in the team, but the assistant looks like he's going to use him mainly as a centre-back, which I don't really like, to be honest, because he is not the best ball-playing defender we could get. He's 6 foot, so he just about meets the height requirement. 14 jump and reach. He's only got 10 heading. His defensive ability isn't the best. Only 12 marking and 12 tackling. He's great in the ball-playing side of things as a defender. Great passing, great composure as well, great vision. If I could find the correct match to balance him out, it'd be amazing probably. But yeah, I feel like the centre-backs, we yet to find that complete one. That complete, the ball-playing defender you all want. Good in the air, quick, and he can pass out from the back. We either get a little bit of the other. We get one who's a good defender, who's good in the air but can't pass the ball, or we get the ones who are very good at passing the ball but not so good defending. So I'm a little bit worried in that regard. But El Amrani, he did come through my youth. I signed him from Lugo for £5 million when he was about 17 or 18 years of age. Loaned him out for many years. Deemed him not good enough or didn't need him at the time. Sold him to Bayern Munich for £23 million. He's become a regular starter there, and now he's back at the club for £145 million. He's 28 years of age as well, almost 29, so definitely on the old side, but hopefully we can get 2 or 3 good seasons out of him in whatever position he's playing in. The next one I signed was one from Real Betis for £475k, and Josu Sariegi from Athletic Bilbao for £46 million. He's another youngster, but he's in the first team at the moment because I can't loan him out. And if I demote him to the B team, he throws his toys out the pram. So I'm keeping him in the first team at the moment. It says he's a centre midfielder, but clearly he is a centre back, and he is definitely one of that centre backs that I am talking about in terms of a complete centre back. Unfortunately, he hasn't fulfilled his potential yet, but you can see how good he can become. He can pass the ball. He's decent defending as well. He's quick. He's fairly strong. So hopefully, fingers crossed for Sariegi, he turns out to be a brilliant player. Only 18 years of age, so the sky is the limit for him. But he's not quite ready yet to be a regular starter for us. And the last player to join us is actually another centre-back as well. Javier Marin has joined us from Juventus for £58 million. He's 29 years of age. I did think twice about signing him. I don't think he's amazing, but we definitely are thin in that department. He's another one that he's not quite a ball-playing defender, really. If you look at his attributes here, 10 passing, 10 technique, 11 first touch as well. He's not the quickest either, only 12 acceleration, but he's very good mentally, which is great. Not the best defensively either, but he's only here as a 4th choice centre-back. I know he's expensive, but hopefully he will serve a purpose. So, of course, last season we failed to defend our crown in the league, but we did win the Spanish Cup and the Spanish Super Cup, so made up for it a little bit there. We are the favourites to win the league title again this season, so again the pressure is on. And we've also got 6 players in the Media Dream 11. We've got Borja El Amrani as a centre-back, as you see there. Not his best position in my opinion. Gamez, Sola, Blanco and George all in the Dream 11 as well. So taking that into regard, we should be able to put up a very good title challenge this season. Of course, we only missed out by 2 points last season. And, we were just 1 win away, basically, from a domestic treble. So I guess it was a pretty good season last season. But hopefully this season we can get back to winning ways, back to winning the title as well. So in terms of the starting 11 for this season, well, as you can see, we've got a brand new centre-back partnership in El Amrani and Torres as well. I've also put player our defence back on because these two definitely can play as ball-playing defenders. I prefer El Amrani to be in the midfield with Blanco and Sola, to be honest. Put Gamez back in as centre-back and play maybe Angulo right back. If I was managing the team on a day-to-day basis, that is what I would do. I feel like that's a better way to go. Gamez is 6'4", 4 inches taller than El Amrani and much better defensively as well. So I'm a little bit scared about this centre-back partnership, to be honest with you, but who knows? It might be amazing. We shall see. Games is just unbelievable, though. He just keeps getting better and better. He's just looking absolutely ridiculous, isn't he? Mentally, he's an absolute freak, to be honest. And physically, he now looks outstanding as well. An amazing, amazing player. And can you believe that I signed him for only £1.3 million? He will definitely go down as probably the bargain of the video, to be honest. In the midfield as well, we've got Efren Pasto. He's been a squad player for us over the years. He clearly does have many qualities, such as his passing and his composure. Very, very adept footballer in that regard, but not so great physically, to be honest. And also, we've got another new player in the team on the left wing, of course. Edu Gomez and Jose Carlos have both left the club in recent times. And to be honest, we have been downgraded in that position. I've got Jamie playing there this year. He's only 25 years of age, but he's only got 2 caps for Spain. And he's a very technically gifted player, but he's not really a winger-style player, not one I'd like anyway. He hasn't got great pace, and he hasn't got great physical attributes in general, to be honest. So you could say that we've kind of strengthened the centre-back part of the squad, but we've also taken a backward step in the left-wing position and probably the midfield as well. So let's see what will happen in Season 18. We've now won trophies in each of the last 4 seasons, winning 5 trophies in the last 4 seasons. Can we make it 5 in a row in Season 18? Well, unfortunately, it was an absolutely pathetic title challenge for us this season. We finished 4th in the league with 76 points, 7 points behind Atletico Madrid on top and Barcelona in 2nd place, and 11 on points with Villarreal in 3rd place as well. As you can see from the league positions here, it was not going well at all in the season, really. So we did quite well to get 4th place in the end. A very, very tight league, and we just finished above Cadiz in 5th place, who are a very good team these days, Cadiz, so shouldn't mock them too much, but we should be closer to the top than we are to 5th place Cadiz, to be honest with you. Also, the Champions League knocked out in the quarter-final again, this time by RB Leipzig, so that's very disappointing. We did win another competition, though, again, so that's 5 seasons in a row now. We've won the Spanish Cup again, making a little bit of a habit of winning the Spanish Cup. We actually beat Albacete in the final this year, so we've got quite a favourable team in the final. And the other 2 times we've won it, we beat Real Sociedad both times, so although we lost our first 3 finals in the Spanish Cup, we have now won 3 in a row, so made up for those early defeats in the Spanish Cup. And in the Spanish Super Cup, we got knocked out in the semi-final by Real Sociedad. So, not the greatest of seasons, but at least we ended the season with silverware again. There's now 6 trophies in the last 5 seasons, which is great. George was again the best player of the season with 27 goals and 15 assists. Brilliant, brilliant player. He's been absolutely unbelievable. And Sastra Stegui actually got 45 goals this season in 51 games with 8 assists as well. So, by far his best season at the club so far. Pozuelo had a decent season as a fringe player. 7 goals and 4 assists for him. Joaquin Gamez, our best defender, of course. Still young, 22 years of age. 3 goals and 13 assists. Gorka Soler had a good season. Lassa, 15 goals and 12 assists. Also, Boya, Jamie and Blanco, who had great seasons as well. Also, we have another youngster up in the first team now as well. That is Manuel. He joined us from Espanyol for £2.1 million a long time ago. He got 5 goals and 9 assists for the season as well. So season 18 is done. Unfortunately, no league title win again, but we have won a trophy in each of the last 5 seasons, winning 6 out of 5. What can we do in season 19? At the start of season 19, and again, lots of players have left the club. 9 players have been sold in total, and only 4 new signings to talk of, and only one of them is coming into the first team. So in terms of the first player to leave us, that was Jose Perillo. He has joined Atlanta on a free transfer. I tried to convince him to stay in January. He didn't want to stay in the summer, but I felt like I needed to loan my other left back out for another season. He has high potential. I'd keep Perillo as a backup and hopefully extend his contract, but unfortunately he wasn't interested. He joined Atlanta on a free transfer. Didn't really work out for him, to be honest. I signed him before I signed Boya, I believe, and Boya just booed him out of the team, basically. Was by far our number 1 left back, but Perillo definitely served a purpose as a backup left back, but obviously he's not interested in being just a backup left back, so he decided to move to Atlanta on a free transfer. The next one to leave us is actually our goalkeeper. David Farias has joined FC Nantes for £43.5 million. He's now 33 years of age, so definitely getting on a bit. 66 caps for Spain. 4 good seasons out of Farias, especially in his 3rd season. But now he has left the club and he's made way for a much more exciting goalkeeper in terms of age and potential as well. Get to him in get to him shortly. Also, Borja has left the club as well. That is really unfortunate. He's a very key player for me. He has joined Al Ahly for £64 million. Bit devastating as well because he's only 29 years of age, so could have got a couple more seasons out of him, but unfortunately he was in his final year of his contract and I didn't want to extend his contract, so I decided to cash on him whilst I could. He has been a great servant for the club as well since I signed him from Man City. Also, Angulo has joined Villarreal for £18.25 million. He was our backup right back. Unfortunately, I've taken a big loss on him, signing for £60 million from Real Sociedad, so definitely didn't work out well, that one. Gali Sacco has joined Torino for £9.25 million. He's actually been here a long time. Gali Sacco, he's been the backup for a fair few seasons as well, as you see there, backup goalkeeper. He came through in the year 2026, but obviously he's not good enough, only good enough to be a backup or third choice. He wants to play more games, so he's gone to Torino. Also, David has left the club as well. He's gone to Valencia for £6.5 million. He was a fringe player. He was my fringe player to have at the club. He can play either centre-back, DM or centre midfield. He served a purpose in that regard. Didn't get too many games. He came for the youth system here, was a Madrid lad, but now he's moved to Valencia and he's an important player there apparently, so good luck to him. Hopefully he gets many game time there. Also, Javier Marin, a player only just signed for £58 million at the start of last season. He has joined Al Hilal for £23 million, so a big loss on him as well. Very poor signing, has to be said. Didn't feature in a single game in any competition on or off the bench last season. So I think the assistant manager didn't really take to him very well. Definitely was one of my poorer signings, but I would have thought he'd got at least one game in the season, but unfortunately he did not. Also, Pastor has joined Cadiz for £27 million. He's now in his 30s. He's been a great servant to us as well. Not quite a regular starter, but as a squad player, he's been a great player to have. And Javier Alegre, he has joined FC Nantes for £36 million. He's got 24 caps for Spain. He is a centre-back, but he's not good enough to get 24 caps in my opinion. He had high promise at the start of his career. He came from my youth intake. I was very excited about him, but unfortunately, his development just completely stalled at a certain point and he never got any better. So yeah, that was very unfortunate. I had high hopes for him. He has gone to Nantes for £36 million as well. So in terms of those four players who have joined us, three of them are young players, as I said. The first one I signed was a player called Eloy. I had a player called Eloy before, but that is not the same player. He has joined us from Villarreal for £3.3 million. Also signed Fermin Alonso from Real Sociedad for £6.5 million. And the most expensive of the three is Jose Maria Valverde. I signed him from Las Palmas for £29 million. And I've finally signed a centre-back that I have been after for like 7 or 8 seasons now. Unfortunately, I couldn't sign him because he played for Valencia. I was praying pretty much every single season that he would leave Valencia. He finally did a couple of seasons ago. He went to Inter Milan and I have signed him from Inter Milan. His name is Cesar Albars and I've signed him for £134 million. So definitely an expensive signing, definitely risky as well, considering the fact that he's 30 years of age, only on a 1-year contract, but he's a player I had to sign. As a ball-playing defender, he's absolutely unbelievable. The only problem with him, though, is he's 5'10". So he's short for a centre-back, it has to be said. Only got a 10 jumping reach, which is definitely worrying, but he's got 18 heading, which is definitely good. He's got 13 composure as well. He's got great mental attributes there, 19 concentration, 17 positioning. He's just a great all-round defender, and if he was 4 inches taller, he'd be probably one of the best centre-backs on the game. So very happy to sign Albors. He started his career at Valencia, was there for so long before he finally left to Inter Milan. Finally got my man. I wish I got him 5 years earlier, to be honest, but he's finally here. I just hope that his height disadvantage doesn't backfire on us too much. Well, the pressure is definitely on to win the league title in season 19, let me tell you, because look at the Media Dream 11. We've got 8 players in the Media Dream 11, including 3 of the back 4, all of the midfield, apparently, and also George and Satros Degri as well. So looking at the Media Dream 11, we have to win the league title in season 19. We are favourites again, 5-4. Atletico Madrid are the title holders, but they're down in 4th place in the season preview. So it's been 3 seasons now since we won the league title, so hopefully we can win it again in this season. So in terms of the team, of course, goalkeeper Farias has left the club. I've mentioned on a few occasions how we've got a very high potential goalkeeper in the under-18 squad, and now he's finally in the first team squad, and his name is Jose Ignacio Bueno. He is an unbelievable goalkeeper. As you can see here, what a goalkeeper we have in our hands here. Great goalkeeping attributes all across the board. Great mentally as well. 19 decisions, 17 vision, 16 anticipation. Physically, not as good as he is mentally and goalkeeping wise, but he's still got 15 agility, and everything else is above 12 a minimum apart from his acceleration. But what a goalkeeper, and even more exciting the fact that he's still only 23 years of age. So goalkeepers normally develop more longer than other players in my experience, so he should get even better than this as well. I signed him for only a whopping £8 million back in 2033 from Real Betis. He spent a few seasons in the B squad and the under-19s. He then had 5 loans out to get him first team experience as a goalkeeper. He went on loan to Salento or Salernitana, I think it is, in Italian Serie B. He then went to the French Ligue 1 with Saint Etienne, then Genoa, then Real Sociedad, and then last season he was on loan at Bayer Leverkusen. So he's experienced a lot of the big leagues, it has to be said. The only one he hasn't experienced is the Premier League. So definitely a very experienced goalkeeper, despite only being 23 years of age. He's uncapped by Spain, but to be honest, he looks like the natural successor to Farias, not only for the Real Madrid jersey, but also to the Spain jersey as well. So a very exciting goalkeeper. Yes, we sold Farias, but in my opinion, Bueno is even better, and he's 10 years younger. In terms of the left-back position to replace Borja, I've got Imanol Villa here, or Villa, a player I signed a few years ago as well. He's 22 years of age. He's got 3 caps for Spain. He's not quite as good as Borja, it has to be said, but he's definitely a very good player. Physically, Borja is much better, but mentally, I'd say Villa is better, to be honest. Very good mentally, including his teamwork and work rate. Great leadership qualities as well, but he's still developing, so hopefully he can get even better than this. 3-star, potentially 4 stars. So if he does improve from this point, he could be just as good as Borja, if not better. I signed him from Real Sociedad for only £1.1 million back in 2035, and the last 3 seasons he's been out on loan to Valencians, Schalke, and Juventus. This is the centre-back partnership, which definitely does concern me for this season. This is the centre-backs the assistant wants to play, so I've decided to switch it up a little bit this season. I'm playing El Rani as a cover ball-playing defender, and Alborz as a ball-playing defender on defend. I feel like both of them, with their height disadvantage as ball-playing defenders on defend, could prove very costly for us. So it's not usually something I do, but we'll see how it works out this season. El Rani on the cover and Alborz as defend. Ideally, I'd like, Alborz maybe on the covering position and have a very tall centre-back to partner him, who's very good. But unfortunately, the other defenders we've got are not quite on the same level as Alborz. In the midfield as well, we've got Manuel as a starting midfielder this season to replace Pastor. He's got 2 caps and 1 goal for Spain. He's definitely a good midfielder. I wouldn't say he's world class, not by any means, but he's definitely a good one. I feel like we can do better than him though. I signed him from Espanyol for £2.1 million, and he's been out on loan 3 times as well to Freiburg, Bayer Leverkusen, and Inter Milan. Of course, got Blanco and Solo in front of Manuel there, and the front 3 hasn't changed. So in terms of the team going into season 19, well, Bueno is just as good as Farias, if not better. Alborz definitely strengthens the defence, not in a height advantage way though. Games just keeps getting better every single season. He's absolutely unbelievable. The left back is a slight downgrade, but the other 4 defenders are very, very good, although the centre-backs do worry me with their lack of height there. In the midfield, Manuel, slightly worse than Pastor, I'd say, but he's also like 7 years younger. And of course, the front 3 hasn't changed. So the pressure is on for season 19 here. We're strong favourites to win the league title. And 8 of the 11 players in the Dream 11 are Real Madrid players. Can we live up to our billing then? And can we win the title for the second time in season 19? We did manage to win the title, which is absolutely brilliant. We won it with 94 points as well. 30 wins, 4 draws, and just 4 defeats during the season. We won it with 5 points clear over Atletico Madrid, and there was also 6 points clear of Barcelona as well. It was actually quite a thrilling title race, but towards the end, we really did steamroll off. We won many games in a row, and we deserved the win in the end, to be honest with you. So, great way to win the league title. That's now 2 league titles now in 4 seasons. And now that's 6 seasons in a row we've won 1 piece of silverware. But we also won the Spanish Super Cup as well. So another double in this season 19. So that's now 8 trophies in 6 seasons. So pretty good. Pretty happy with that. Unfortunately, the Champions League, we did win the Champions League, of course, but hasn't gone so well since then. Knocked down the round of 16 by Man City. And the Spanish Cup, couldn't defend our crown there either. Knocked down the quarter-final by Barcelona. But we won the league title again for the second time in the series. Should have been more, let's be honest, but it's nice we're finally winning trophies now, and we also won the Spanish Super Cup. In terms of best player of the season, well, surprise, surprise, that goes to George again. 30 goals and 10 assists for him. Also, Joaquin Gamez, unbelievable. He's now a 5-star player, by the way. And I signed him for £1.3 million. What a signing. 45 games, 4 goals and 9 assists for him. Villar as well, who replaced Boya with a great season. 46 games, 4 goals and 8 assists. And Sastre as well, got 27 goals and 5 assists in 43 games. Not quite as many as last season, but still a very good return, it has to be said. So, season 19 is complete. It's now 8 trophies won in the last 6 seasons, including the league title this season for the second time. What will season 20 bring? Well, at the start of season 20 here, 5 new signings to talk of, and 3 players have left us. The first player to leave us was Oscar Cordero. He has joined Real Sociedad for £18.75 million. He's a player I haven't really mentioned much. That is because he was just our backup goalkeeper. Quite a decent backup goalkeeper, though, it has to be said. He's been backup for a long time. I signed him for £10 million from Villarreal, but he's only the backup goalkeeper to Bueno as well, who is a much better player. So he has left the club to go to Real Sociedad. Also, Tony Van Brabant has also gone to Real Sociedad. He's gone there for £7.5 million. He's actually Cypriot, but he started his career at Villarreal, and his other nationalities are Spanish. He's a decent centre-back in the defending side of things, but in terms of the ball-playing defender role, clearly nowhere near good enough in that role, and didn't quite develop to his full potential, so not too sad to see him leave. But as an old-school centre-back, he's quite good. Very good heading, very good jumping reach as well, great bravery, great tackling, so he's still a good defender, but not quite our standard. And also Javier Pozuelo, he has gone to Nice for £19.75 million. Unfortunately, he didn't nowhere near close fulfill his potential, to be honest. He's a good player, but he had the potential to be a world-class player back in the day. Unfortunately, he didn't fulfill his potential. I tried my hardest to help him fulfill his potential. I loaned him out many times. He went on loan to Dortmund twice. He's on loan at Inter Milan as well, Brighton and Freiburg. Always a regular starter as well, but unfortunately his development just stalled. He has been a squad player for the last 3 seasons where he's done pretty good, it has to be said. 3 very good average ratings for a squad player, but unfortunately he wants to leave the club, so he has gone to Nice for £19.75 million. So in terms of the players that have joined us, I've signed a new backup goalkeeper to replace Cordero. That is Javier Pernia. He joins us from Sunderland for £32 million. What to say about him, really? Bueno is clearly our number 1 goalkeeper. No one's going to come close to him in terms of Spanish goalkeepers now. So Pernia is firmly a backup goalkeeper, but it's always good to have a decent backup in case a bad injury does happen. So Pernia is a decent player, but he's obviously not going to kick Bueno out of the team, that is for sure. Next player to join us was, next 2 players to join us were 2 young players. Isaac, he's been signed from Huesca for £1 million, and Cristo Abad has joined us from Tenerife for £14 million. Another young player has joined us in David De La Fuente. He's joined us from Athletic Bilbao for £47 million, but he is 22 years of age and he's also ready for first team football as well. Not quite an amazing player, he kind of reminds me of Manuel, to be honest with you, but he is still developing, potentially 4 stars, and he's got great first touch, great technique as well, great composure as well, great vision. Not the best mentally, but also not the worst. And also he's still developing, so he could be a great physical player in the future. Mentally as well, if he can develop a little bit, he can be a world-class player. If he does stay the same, then at least we've got a decent squad player on our hands here. And finally, the last player to join us is another goalkeeper. That is Emily Rebo. He joins us from Espanyol for £25 million. He is 21 years of age, so still on the young side for a goalkeeper. He's gone back on loan to Espanyol for the season, and I'll probably loan him out next season as well because he could end up being a better goalkeeper than Pernia. Of course, he's not going to reach Bueno's level, but I'm trying to make him as good as possible. So, last season we won the league title, of course, and the Spanish Super Cup. We also had 8 players in the Media Dream 11, but season 20 is a whole lot different. We've only got 3 players in the Media Dream 11, and they're all defenders. Gamez, Villa and Alborz are our 3 defenders in the Dream 11, and none of our 4 players or midfielders make it into the list, which is very, very bizarre, it has to be said. We're still favourites to win the league title over Barcelona, Atletico Madrid and Villarreal, of course, but yeah, a little bit worrying. Back to the Dream 11, you know, you got a Barcelona, a Villarreal and an Atletico Madrid players in the front 3, and then we've also got a Cadiz, Real Sociedad and Atletico Madrid players in the midfield 3 as well, so I'm scared to think how good those players are because you're not seeing Blanco, Sola, George or Sachastegui in the Media Dream 11. So season 20, I am a little bit fearful here. But we did win the league title last season, so hopefully we can defend our crown again. So in terms of the team for this season, well, it actually hasn't changed at all in terms of the starting 11. And the centre-back partnership last season obviously worked quite well as soon as we won the league title. Alborz had a good average rating of 7.06. And also Elam Rani, who's a natural midfielder, did well with 7.05 as well. So despite them not being very tall, either of them, for a centre-back, still did quite well. So hopefully, fingers crossed, they can do well again this season and we can defend our crown in the league. Let's hope we do that in season 20. Well, unfortunately, we did not defend our crown at all. I actually planned for this to be the final season. I felt like 20 seasons, that is enough, more than enough, and go out with back-to-back league titles. But of course, I can't end off with this disgusting performance in the league. We finished 4th in the league, unfortunately, with 84 points. Way clear of 5th place Valencia, but 12 points off Atletico at top of the league and behind Villarreal and Barcelona as well. We actually had quite a good ending to the season, but the damage was already done in the midpoint of the season. Really did struggle. Also, the Champions League, absolutely horrendous. Knocked out in the knockout playoff round by Juventus. It was also knocked out in the quarterfinal by Bilbao in the Spanish Cup as well. Thankfully, we won silverware for the 7th season in a row. We won the Spanish Super Cup again, so that is decent at least, but it definitely does not make up for the league position. Being knocked out of the Champions League playoff round as well. So disappointing in season 20. As I said, I planned for this to be the final season, but unfortunately the team had other ideas about that. Well, George had another sensational year this season. He got 37 goals and 20 assists, so 57 goal involvements in just 46 games, but unfortunately that wasn't enough to see us win a major trophy. Also, VR had a good season as well, 4 goals and 8 assists. Joaquin Gamez again with a great season, as with Gorka Sola as well. David De La Fuente was a good signing, 11 goals, 12 assists for him. Jamie did well as well, 8 goals, 11 assists. But Sasha Stegui, he got 40 plus goals 2 seasons ago, 27 goals last season. This season, only 19 goals in 44 games and 5 assists. He did start off the season absolutely terribly in terms of goals scored. He definitely picked it up towards the end, but 19 goals in 44 games for a player of his standard is clearly nowhere near good enough. So season 20 was unfortunately very, very disappointing. Couldn't defend our crown in the league. Thankfully though, we have won a trophy for the 7th season in a row. What will season 21 bring though? Can we get back to winning ways in the league? Well, in season 21, and 6 players have been sold and only 3 new signings to talk about. Unfortunately, both our centre-backs, Alborz and Elamrani, have both left the club. First of all, though, Manuel left the club on a free transfer. He went to Man United, unfortunately. He was a good player for us, Manuel, but unfortunately his demands at the start of the season were absolutely ridiculous in terms of what he wanted. He wanted to be a star player for us. He clearly has not that ability. And you know what? I was sick of him. I didn't want to grant his demands. I don't want to grant him being a star player when he isn't. So I decided to leave it to January and then offer him a contract. Normally, they calm down at that point, agree to be squad players or regular starters. But unfortunately for us, he decided to leave altogether and he joined Man United on a pre-contract. So he has left the club, unfortunately, Manuel. Also, as I said, Elam Rani has left the club. He has joined Al Ittihad on a free transfer, unfortunately. He's been playing at centre-back the last 3 seasons. Not his best role, but he definitely did do well there. Did do quite well. Considering it's not his best role, he did very well, actually. But I knew he wasn't going to be here for a long time. He's 28 when I signed him. He's now 31, and he has gone to Al Ittihad. Probably for the best as well, to be fair. His physical attributes aren't the best as it is. Only got a 12 natural fitness, and he's about to turn 32 years of age. Alborz has gone to Saudi Arabia as well, of course. He has joined Al Hilal for £52 million. He's 32 now, about to turn 33. He could have carried on for a bit longer though. He's got much better physical attributes than Elam Rani, but I signed him when he's 30 years of age. I'm just happy the fact that I finally signed him in the end because I wanted him for a long time. He had 2 seasons with us, 2 good seasons as well, so thankfully we got him for 2 seasons. Also, Diego Malado has left the club. He's gone to St Etienne for £7.75 million. No more than a fringe player here. Saini Camara, who had high promise early on in his career, signing from Mallorca way back like 10 years ago. He has joined Dortmund for £38 million. And George Ray has joined Juventus for £18.75 million as well. His name was actually just George, but I decided to change it to George Ray to not get him confused with our star player George, who plays on the right wing, of course. So only 3 new signings to talk of. 2 of them are young players. Montolio has joined us from Girona for £6.5 million. And Fran has joined us from Albacete for $850k. I've signed Carlos Rama from FC Cologne for £64 million. He's a 28-year-old striker. 13 caps and 6 goals for Spain. He comes in as a squad player. He's a decent squad player, that has to be said. Great finishing and composure. He's also very good physically as well. Not so good in the air, not so good mentally as well. But as a squad player, in being a versatile player as well, compared on the right or up front, definitely makes our squad better. Again, I think this is 5 seasons in a row we've been favourites to win the league title. We have won 2 of them. We're again favourites for the league title, but as you can see by the odds here, there's not much difference between the 4 clubs really. It's a 21 years into the future, it's quite a thrilling one. You know, we've got 4 serious title contenders, and Cadiz keep getting better every single season. In terms of the Dream 11, we've got 5 players in there this season, including both our fullbacks, Sola, Jamie and George as well. So obviously some big players have left the club, but in terms of the defence, Kometek has been called up to the first team now to effectively replace Albors, while Gamez has been moved to the centre-back to effectively replace El Rani as well. So not really much of a downgrade, to be honest with you, even a downgrade at all, because Kometek has signed him with high promise early on in his career. He is Slovenian, but he started his career in Spain. I mean, that's how he's Spanish. I think he started his career at Zaragoza. Yeah, he did. Signed him for £16 million. He's been out on loan the last 4 seasons. He did really well at loan to Fiorentina last season, and now he's in the first team. As you can see, he's a very, very good player, very good physically, and he's still developing as well. He's only 23 years of age, so potentially 4.5 stars. Not as good as Gamez, but Gamez can offer us a different option at centre-back. So Kometek is a very brilliant player, and hopefully he turned out to be a world-class player in the future. Yeah, Gamez is a centre-back now, and you could argue the case, well, I would argue the case that he is better than both Albors and El Rani, to be honest. He's just unbelievable, isn't he? Mentally, he's just outstanding. Outstanding mentally. Physically as well, he is very, very good. And in terms of defensive attributes, 16 marking, 17 positioning as well, 16 technique, which is great for being a ball-playing defender. And he's also 6'4" with a 17 jumping reach. So, unbelievable centre-back Gamez. Naturally a right-back, but unbelievable in both positions. The other defenders clearly haven't changed, and Bueno as well. My word. He did get a little bit better, it has to be said. He's now got 20 caps for Spain, and just look at the state of him. What a player he is. Look at all the green ratings he's got for his role as a sweeper keeper and support. I don't think there is many, if not any, better sweeper keepers on support in the game than Bueno here. So he has been an unbelievable signing, and he's only 25, so he might get even better yet. He's still got potentially 4.5 stars, so what a goalkeeper. What a keeper. In the midfield as well, Blanco and Sola have been mainstays for the last 5 or 6 years. We've got a new DM though, and that is Karim Haddad. Get this, a player I signed from Murcia for just 34k back in 2035. He's been out on loan for the last 5 seasons, and now he seems ready to be in the first team in my opinion. Technically, he is not the best at all, really. He's not a great passer of the ball. Technique is only 8. But look at his mental attributes and also look at his physical attributes as well. He's got 13 caps for Spain. He's 23 years of age. Physically, he's absolutely unbelievable. He's unbelievable mentally as well. So he's a great ball-winning midfielder player to have. And hopefully, he'll turn out to be a great player for us this season. Hopefully, he'll just sit there in the DM and let Sola and Blanco do their magic and create the goals for us. In terms of the front three, that hasn't changed for the last few seasons as well. We've got 2 unbelievable players in the front three in George and Sasha Stegui. So season 21, last season was very disappointing. We have won trophies in each of the last 7 seasons, so can we make it 8 seasons in a row? We could make it 8 seasons in a row with silverware because we won the league title in quite convincing fashion. We won it with 95 points. We were plus 69 goal difference, 8 points clear of Villarreal and Atletico Madrid in 2nd and 3rd place, and also 22 points clear of Barcelona. We also lost 2 of our last 3 games as well, so 2 wins there in our last 3 games. We would have finished above 100 points. I think that's our highest points tally in total in the entire video, so that is absolutely fantastic. We got knocked out in the quarter-final by Villarreal in the Champions League, and we got knocked down in the 3rd round by Sporting Gijon in the Spanish Cup. But I did plan for the video to end at the last season. It will end for this season though. This is the last season with Real Madrid. I've definitely played enough seasons here with the club, and thankfully we go out with our highest points tally and another league title. So no 3 league titles in total out of 21 seasons. Doesn't sound that great, but considering we were at 0 after what, 15, wasn't it? It's not as bad as when you say it like that, is it? So in terms of the squad, well, surprise, surprise, who the best player of the season was. That was George, 24 goals and 18 assists for him. He's now 31 years of age. And Sasha Stegui got back to goal scoring form in this season. 29 goals and 8 assists for him as well. He's now 30 years of age as well. Kometek, the player I called up to the first team this season, had a brilliant season. 3 goals and 13 assists. Jamie got 18 goals as well and 8 assists for him. VR had another great season. Gamez, great as well. Jorka, Sergio Jerka, sorry. Gorka Sola had a great season as well. Bueno, David De La Fuente. It was just a great season all around and a really great season to end off things here with Real Madrid. So that's 8 seasons in a row we actually won silverware. Of course, it did not start off too well for us, especially in the league. You know, it took us to season 16 to win our first league title, but let's be honest, we should have won a couple of league titles before that. We came very close on many occasions, but thankfully we did win it finally in 2039. Interestingly though, no team out of Madrid has won the league title since then. 3 for us and 3 for Atletico Madrid as well. So that is the big rivalry these days, both the Madrid clubs. But thankfully we won 3 out of 6. We won 2 out of the last 3 league titles as well. We also, of course, won 1 Champions League in 2038. Unfortunately, that's all we could win in Europe, but thankfully, at least we won 1 Champions League. That's better than nothing, of course it is. Wouldn't it be nice to win 2 Champions Leagues, but then saying that, could it be nice to win 6 or 7 or maybe 8 Liga titles as well. So, didn't get all we wanted here in with Real Madrid, unfortunately. We also won the UEFA Super Cup in 2038 as well. We also won 3 Spanish Cups in the end after losing our first 3 finals of the competition, so that was nice. And we also won 5 Spanish Super Cups in total as well. The last 8 seasons, though, were the best, of course. Most of those trophies came in the last 8 seasons, and only before that we won 2 Spanish Super Cups. So I think it was the first 14 seasons or 13 seasons where we won 2 trophies, only Spanish Super Cups. So the first 13 seasons on the video didn't go too well, but the last 8 seasons we definitely did improve, and I think we won 8 or 9 trophies in the remaining 8 seasons. So that is the end of this video, guys. If you've watched it to the end, you're an absolute legend. Thank you very much for that. Please hit that like button for me. And also, if you're new around here and you want to see more videos like this, do hit that subscribe button as well. It'd really help me out and it'd much appreciated. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you for the next one.